Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And by Mercedes-Benz. Experience truly great engineering today at your authorized dealer. Orioles continue on what has been a very successful homestand. 3 more to go on it. They are 4-2 so far here at Camden Yards during the stand. Let's take a look at our train game time temperature. 88 degrees to kick this one off after another 90-plus degree day with cooler weather in the forecast for the rest of the week. Visit trainsearch.com to locate an independent train dealer near you. It's hard to stop a train. Let's take a look at the starting lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. For the A's, Crisp is back in the lineup. Has missed a lot of games on the DL. It'll be Barton, Jackson, Suzuki, Kuzmanov, Rosales, Ellis, Davis, and Pennington. Suzuki leading the A's 10 home runs and on a home run spree of late.
And our scouting report for the 23-year-old left-hander out of Arizona. Well, winless the last 12 starts. Not entirely his fault. Pitched well on some of those occasions. And 15 starts, 48 runs. While he was in the games, around 33. That's 2.2 runs per game. And again, we talked about the 4-run lead in his last start against the Marlins. Didn't get any runs in San Diego. Only one. Pitched very well. But the last time got a 4-0 lead. Elevated some balls. He hit a couple of home runs. He was out of the game. So again, ERA. And again, you got to remember he's 2 years out of college. It's not as low as you'd like, but he does lead in innings pitched and a lot of other things for rookie pitchers. So he's getting his starts and he's just learning as he goes.
And our scouting report brought to you by PNC for the achiever in us all. And Brian Mattis delivers outside, and we are underway. As we said, Coco Crisp back in the lineup. Has missed a lot of games this season because of injuries on the DL. So Oakland looking to get him back in on a regular basis. He has not played against the Orioles in the 7 games that have been played between these two ball clubs so far. Orioles trail in the season series against these A's 2-5.
Yeah, they went the fractured pinky early on when the Orioles were out there, and then here he was going to play, and then had the intercostal muscle strain, so back on the DL.
And Crisp will take the pitch outside, so they get back their leadoff batter, switch hitter. Total this year, he's only had 25 at-bats on the season. Brian Mattis, Crisp, Barton, and Jackson in the first inning against him. In at third base of it is Tejada with a 2-ball, 1-strike count, even with a bag at third. Crisp will take the off-speed pitch. It is in there for the strike, high and on the outside corner, 2-2.
Yeah, pretty high strike. Field and Culberth doing the umpire behind the plate. Normally that changeup is not called, but it is. And again, first guy, get him out, trying to get your feel. Pretty important pitch right there.
Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way, and that will be outside. Brian Mattis has had his problems in these first innings, getting settled in, getting himself a lead in the game rather than having to pitch from behind, as he has given up 10 first-inning runs. Only the third inning has been worse for him, in which he has given up 11. And Coco Crisp is on with a leadoff walk.
Well, let's take a look at the way he holds his pitches. There's your conventional 4-seam fastball, 2-seamer. That's what he wants to try to establish down the way to right-handed batters. And had a little bit of a trouble. Curveball, had a very good one in his start out in San Diego. Slider, and then what looks like your fastball, the changeup. There's that circle changeup grip. And when he's pitching well, he's able to command that pitch.
So now he's going to have to keep an eye on Coco Crisp. Now, whether he's healthy enough and in game shape enough to be doing any running remains to be seen. But when he is ready to go, Coco Crisp will be one of those running on the base pass. He's only got 1 stolen base and a couple of chances, but again, hasn't played in enough games really to do anything on the base pass. Barton at the plate. Barton's had a great year against the Orioles. 348 average in these 7 games. Tatum coming back near the screen. That'll be about 3 rolls back and behind it. 2-strike count. For Barton, 279 overall, 4 homers and 30 RBIs. Strikes out about the same rate that he walks, 52 Ks and 48 strikeouts on the season.
Yeah, and that's why his on-base percentage is as high as it is. I mean, you read about him when he was coming up. You figured maybe at some point he would hit some home runs, and that may happen. But right now, he's an on-base machine. And, the other things, of course, you'll look at, can you hit left-handers? Lefties hitting .311, which is a high number off of Mattis, even though the home runs, more of them by the right-handers.
Barton's been good off lefties, hitting .311 on the year. Crisp not going. Had a double clutch on that one and fouls it back, and it'll stay at 2 strikes. Brian Mattis, a dramatic improvement in the month of June from the previous month. Still, though, not in wins.
No, and again, that's a team issue. You know, everybody, I always thought you pitch against the guy you're pitching against and their players, of course. You know, he was 0-4 with a inflated ERA in the month of May, over 7 runs a game. But he's pitched pretty well, just nothing to show for it.
Barton will take it, fooled on it. It will miss outside, though, and a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
And that's, to me, that's the acclamation you have to make as a young pitcher. Last year, and he raced his way through the minor leagues, they're swinging at that pitch because that was a real good breaking ball. But you get a disciplined guy, a guy that's cut his swing down. He's just trying to make contact, and Derek Barton, he takes it.
1-2. Chris will get a throw over. Brian Mattis, the numbers are extremely high. Opponents hitting .281 overall. As Jim said, the left-handers at .311 and right-handers at .273. He has given up 11 home runs, 9 by the righties. And a continuing problem of getting the leadoff man out. Only 61% of the time. Crisp is running. Tatum's throw is not in time. And a stolen base for Crisp.
Yeah, he just goes on the first move, and, you know, he got about 4 or 5 pitches to take a look. Huge lead. And then again, Craig Tatum can throw. Look at this throw right on the money, but you steal that on the pitcher. And again, quick rouleau. I mean, right there, you cannot make a better throw. Well, there's a veteran guy, and this is what Coco Crisp has always brought to the table when he can stay healthy.
That's why they love having him back in that leadoff spot. Gives them some additional speed in the lineup for Bob Guerin's team. 10 games out of first place in the West coming into the series against the Orioles. Barton with a 2-2 count. Crisp off second base. His tourist will hold him tight to the bag. Again, good pitch down and away that Barton fights off and holds the count at 2-2.
And you know what he wants to do. He wants to get the runner to either in or over to third base. Because, again, and we've seen this against a lot of the pitchers. You get the leadoff guy on, they manufacture runs. Part of the manufacturing process is, hey, hit a ball to the right side. Make it easier for the guy on deck.
2-2 count. And Barton, a slow roller. That will get the runner moved up. Lugo's got to hustle it with the glove. As he did not take it out of the glove, Lugo just flipped it to Wigginton and got it there in time. Barton does get Crisp over to third.
Well, a little Robbie Alomar play. Did not have to play it that way, so it looks awfully good when you make the play. That's more of a shortstop, so he comes in. I mean, he didn't have to flip it like that, but it worked.
Now the new member of this Oakland team trying to put some more punch into their lineup. This is Connor Jackson, acquired from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Jackson new to the lineup for this ball club with Arizona last year. Got in only 30 games last season. He had a very rare valley fever that set in on him in May and cost him the whole rest of the season. So Jackson, who put up great numbers 2 years ago, trying to find those numbers again. Will take it away. Ball gets away. Chris, though, will stay right behind Tatum. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Let's take a look at our Cisco defense right here. Patterson, Jones, Markakis, Fleet outfield. Tejada is turf. Lugo, Wigginton. Wiggy with some lower back problems. He's back. And then Matt Wieters getting the night over. Craig Tatum, the backup catcher. Good catch and throw guy. You saw that already. Perfect throw.
Defense brought to you by Cisco Federal, a proud mission partner to the United States Department of Defense. Runner at third, one away, infield back. Jackson down the line. That is going to be a foul ball. Connor Jackson on the season is hitting .270, only 37 at bats with the A's so far. No home runs, 3 RBIs. Overall, in the National League with the Diamondbacks, he was hitting .238. He had a homer, 11 RBIs, and 151 at bats.
So Mattis is where he wants to be, Gary, where he's thinking strikeout. Infield back.
That one in the air will be chased down by Patterson. Runner is tagging Crisp. Patterson drops it, and for the moment it will save a run.
Well, it's a long, circuitous route because, again, it's hard to tell. It seemed to me during batting practice the wind was blowing a little bit. So this is a ball that Corey usually catches, and he just drops it. Now, will it be beneficial to the Orioles? We'll have to wait and see.
It's going to be an error. It can only benefit the Orioles, I would think.
Well, you hate to give him the extra out. I guess that's one way. But you made a great point. It does save a run because he was going to score.
Well, let's see what happens. As Jackson will stand back in 1-2. It looked like Corey was trying to get around the ball so he'd be in position to throw to the plate when he took that route. And a swing and a miss. So Jackson on a great pitch down and in is out of there.
Well, the one thing when Brian Madison, again, first inning, he's a strikeout guy. There's a good changeup, pulls it across the plate. Maybe not exactly where he wanted to throw it. You can see Craig Tatum have to reach across and block it just in case it skips in the dirt. Terrific pitch.
Well, let's see if the Orioles can take advantage of the so-called error charged on Patterson and get out of the inning without allowing a run. Now there are 2 down and Kurt Suzuki. Suzuki's got a 3-game hit streak. Kristoff third. And he will take the pitch up high for a ball. Suzuki has been on an absolute tear here in the month of June, especially when it has come to the long ball. As Suzuki's had 6 home runs in June, most among catchers. 14 RBIs, second most among catchers in the majors. And the pitch is up high to him, 2-0.
Yeah, who do you want to pitch to here? And, of course, he got the game winner on Sunday out in Oakland. Pirates catcher dropped a ball. Evan Meeks was pitching. Hit a walk-off home run. 6th of the month, as you mentioned.
2-0 count on him. Kristoff third. Great pitch tailing away.
Yeah, and it's a great pitch for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's well executed. I mean, that's what Rick Kranitz, the Oriole pitching coach, and Brian say, there's the numbers you talked about, 3-11 and 2, and then all the home runs by the right-handers. But just trying to execute that pitch with a little bit of late movement down and away. Bounce that change up instead of getting it up in the zone.
2-1 delivery, and Suzuki will take that one in the air to short. Son of a gun, if an error doesn't benefit the team that committed the error. Had the ball not been dropped, Chris would have scored. Instead, Brian Mattis takes advantage of it, strikes out Jackson and gets Suzuki. Thank you, Corey. They get the break in the top half of the inning. Let's take a look at the starting lineup of the O's, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Patterson, Tejada, and Markakis, Wigginton, Scott, and Jones, Tatum, Lugo, and his Taurus. Adam Jones, talk about a tear, 341 over the last 10.
And take a look at our scouting report on the 23-year-old right-hander. Quick ascent to the majors, race through. Last start, a ground ball guy. He's a sinker slider type of pitcher, and stuff above average. They said he actually has a better stuff than Brett Anderson and others of their pitchers. And in the command, it can be iffy, but he's got a power arm. I mean, throw 92, 93, and working on a changeup.
Dallas Braden was supposed to start this game. Amber will update us momentarily on why we are seeing Mazzaro instead with that 2-2 mark. As there is Braden, the perfect game pitcher, watching this ball game from the dugout. Corey Patterson will lead it off. Patterson was not going to be in the ball game had the left-hander been pitching, so he's inserted into the game because you got a right-hander, and he comes with a 3-game hit streak. 0-1 delivery to him, and that'll be taken inside 1-1. Samuel shuffled the lineup a little bit, obviously, to get a lineup he'd prefer to have in there against the right-hander. 1-1 delivery to Corey will be taken inside.
Yeah, he had another option. He could have put Scott Moore, who's been playing very well, at a second, but Lugo stayed in the game. Lugo hitting much better against lefties than righties.
Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way. Patterson's got a base hit. So the Orioles kick it off with a single. Patterson extends his hit streak immediately to 4 games, and let's check in with Amber.
Well, Gary, Dallas Braden was scratched with stiffness in his left elbow. This has been an injury that's bothered him for about a month, so this really wasn't a surprise. The A's don't expect this to be a DL issue, but rather will just push the start back to quite possibly Saturday. Now, as far as this nagging injury, a lot of people believe that and the lack of run support's the reason Braden has gone 0-5 since his Mother's Day perfect game. And Jim Palmer, as you and I discussed, the A's broadcasters told me he throws a lot of screwballs lately. That could be an indicator that he's been feeling that pain in his inner elbow.
Boy, do they hope he will not miss a start, Jim.
Oh, yeah, and he's had the flexor problems. He had to leave a game against us when he had twisted his, he had nerve damage last year in his left ankle, I believe, and had to leave that start. So, you pitch pretty well. They don't score you a lot of runs, and you got some physical problems. It's been a tough month and a half since the perfect game.
Braden has the lowest run support in the league at 1.5 per game. Here is Miguel Tejada now. The Orioles have the leadoff man on, and the speedster for the Orioles reaches just as Coco Chris did on the other side. Mazzaro holding the bag is Barton, and Tejada will take the pitch. That's going to miss, and the count will go to 2-0.
Well, you better hurry up your windup, and that's what Corey Patterson brings to the table. 12 out of the 13 attempts when he tries to steal a base. He gets good jumps. And he just tries to work himself into a running league. You can see him crawling. There he goes.
He came back, but boy, he was about a quarter of the way down, if not more.
Well, he's trying to time it, so if you're Vin Mazzaro, you want to make him stop. And he did. Maybe he just didn't feel like he got a good enough jump. Suzuki, 10 out of 36, 28%. Kind of like the league average, maybe 28 to 30%.
Another throw over to getting back to the bag. Barton holds first base in a unique way. You take a look at how he sets up over there to take the throw. It's almost like he's stretching for a throw from the infield. He puts that right foot on the corner of the bag. It gives him a better chance to sweep the glove back for a diving runner, but it's very unusual.
Well, just think about it. If you make the throw, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, you get the ball quicker. So again, it's very much like, second baseman where you're transferring. He's just trying to catch the ball and in one swoop tag the runner. Yep. And then, of course, you could see it's kind of a load on that right side, so he's also going to be pushing off and trying to get into the hole in case the ball is shot into right field.
You better not, on a pickoff throw it down the line towards the plate, though, because he's got no chance to get turned around. He is facing center field.
Well, how many times do we see, though, Gary, when a guy throws the ball over, we saw Chris Tillman do it, where you throw it into the runner?
Yeah.
You get a better chance to actually get that errant throw, cut it off before it goes by both the runner.
There he goes, swung on and fouled off. And a good break right there by Patterson, who will come back to first base. Yeah, that's interesting that he does that, because he gives up one thing, that's the ability to hand a pickoff throw that's towards the home plate side of first, in exchange for being able to get to a ball that's headed to the base runner. All he's got to do is swing that right foot out, and he's right there to catch a ball that might be into the runner, and he's nowhere near the runner. And if you're holding the bag the way you normally do, you can't do that. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Runner not going here, and down and away, and got him. So Mazzaro gets the strikeout, 1 away.
Has 7 RBIs over the last 4 games. Check this slider out. Good late breaking one. Fastball 92, about 9 miles per hour slower. Again, well located.
Here is Nick Markakis. And Nick continuing to be the consistent Oriole in that lineup, as Markakis leads this ball club in getting the game-tying and game-winning RBIs on the season. Keeps that average around that .300 mark and pumps that one out to left. Connor Jackson right there. Line drive right at him. Markakis retired, 2 away. And Patterson back to first base.
Now you know why he's only hitting, what, 270 against right-handers. A pretty good quality at bat. I mean, that's really part of pitching. You make a quality pitch, try to keep the ball in the ballpark. Markakis has a quality bat, and you win that one because it's hit right at your left fielder.
So Ty Wigginton will try and get the RBI. Runner on at first base. Who will be running on anything touched here? Corey Patterson. And again, the throw over, and there's that swipe tag we were talking about.
And he's done a nice job for a young pitcher. Again, anytime you get speed with Corey Patterson, 12 out of 13, it usually changes the tempo of the game. He's thrown strikes. They have not been able to get the runner to second.
Wiggy will take that one for a strike.
So you lose a couple of shots of trying to get that runner in and take the early lead, even though I'm not sure that's the right way to play the game anymore, because the 4 straight wins all coming from behind.
Get behind early.
I'm going to date myself. Silky Sullivan. Down the stretch he comes, 13 lanes back.
It's a tough way to win anything, horse race or baseball.
It really is.
The Orioles have done it.
You got to have one of those kind of confluence streaks that we talked about last year. Confluence of a lot of
Pittsburgh
things going.
Stadium used to be at the confluence.
Yes.
Here's the 0-1 delivery. That one off the fist, right center field. Rajah Davis is over, and he's got it for the out. So each team got the leadoff man on. Neither able to score him. Corey Patterson is stranded. We've completed 1, no score. The Luna double and get your second room of flooring free. Call 877-241-LUNA. On our Luna doubles board this season, American League first baseman, most doubles, Billy Butler with KC, Miguel Cabrera, Detroit, Justin Morneau with the Twins, Derek Barton playing here, first baseman, Kevin Youkilis of Boston with 18, the top doubles producers at first. Brian Mattis's group is ready to go. The Maniacs are up and cheering. And the pitch is taken down low. Kuzmanov, a couple of hits and 5 at-bats. Lifetime off the Orioles starter. Brian Mattis with a leadoff walk. Coco Crispin got out of it. Will be swung on and missed. Kuzmanov on the season, 307 against the lefties, 277 off right-handers.
Yeah, doesn't walk a lot. I mean, 295 at-bats to this point, 13 walks. So he's an aggressive hitter.
1-1 delivery to him. Takes that pitch inside. And a 2-ball, 1-strike count. The A's come in 7th in average and 12th in runs in the American League. They are 13th in home runs. Foul back. And they did have an amazing series. They're coming off the 3-game set that they won. In the game on Sunday, they had only 3 hits and won the ball game by a score of 3-2.
Oh, that 4 errors really came into play. Pitcher, center fielder, catcher.
2-2 delivery is taken up high.
And that's what the Orioles did against the Nationals.
Same thing.
With the wild pitches, the four errors on Friday night.
Yep. And look, good ball clubs do that. If other teams, your opponents, are going to give you something, you take it. Kuzmanov will foul that one away. And a 3-ball, 2-strike count. They won those games against the Pittsburgh Pirates 3-2, 5-0, and 14-4. The Pirates will have their 18th losing season this year. 18 consecutive. 3-2. Mattis looking for the first out here in the inning. Shattered bat. Little squeegee back to him.
Well, I don't know if you can jam anybody more than that.
Good enough for shattered bat and an out. Don't forget, tomorrow the first 25,000 fans 15 and over are going to get the Matt Wieters bobblehead presented by AT&T. Great item to add to your collection. For tickets, call the Orioles 888-848-BIRD or go to Orioles.com. Here's Adam Rosales. Rosales, another one of the A's who's done well against the Orioles. He's 8 for 24 with a home run and 5 RBIs this year off Oriole pitching.
You just seen him in the games that I have done and seen. It just seems like he's able to work the count into good hitting counts. And then a very aggressive hitter.
He's been in and out of the lineup. He did not start the weekend series at all. That to short as Torres has got it. Rosales is retired.
Yeah, going into Friday night's game when the Pirates came to Oakland, he was 0 for 17. So that gives you an idea. Hitting in tough luck. That ball hit right on the nose. Well, that's when you know you're pitching well. You make your pitches. You jam Kuzmanov, and then all of a sudden you go out over the plate. Guy hits it real hard, and your shortstop's standing there.
So 2 down. And here's Mark Ellis. Ellis is the designated hitter. And Ellis will take that one for a strike. For Ellis on the season, 273, 2 homers, 18 RBIs. Only 19 strikeouts and 13 walks. 0-1 pitch to him. He gets that one down the line. That'll be a base hit. Patterson over to get it. So there's the first hit off Brian Mattis in the ball game. A 2-out single here in the second inning. Rajah Davis coming up. Davis has been moved all the way down to the 8th spot in the lineup. He is 0 for his last 18. And that has dumped his average down to the 265 mark, which still, in this day and age, isn't considered that bad. But he had been tearing it up for the first couple of months, and then the bat has gone quiet. And he'll take the pitch inside for a ball.
Yeah, because before the Pirate series, they had lost, when you talk about the A's, 8 out of 9 games and just weren't hitting particularly well. Bullpen, pretty good bullpen, but scuffling a little bit. Look at those numbers right there. So, again, a very, very good May. Obviously not a lot of power numbers. That's not what he's about.
Ooh, big count on a pitch away from him, and you saw the shoulders and the head and the whole body come out on that swing.
Well, yeah, well, we've seen Brian Mattis will throw enough changeups, and he's already done it tonight to establish to the A's hitters that, hey, he's got a good one. And that's how you jam strong hitters. That's how you stay out of the aggressive swings, by changing speeds.
Davis, along with Coco Crisp, they're 2 fastest base running players, and that's why it hurts to have Davis not getting on base. He creates a lot of problems for opposing pitchers when he's on. Brian Mattis, 2-ball, 1-strike count. Ellis off first will draw the throw. Davis has done well in this ballpark. He's a lifetime .370 hitter here at Camden Yards, part of a .302 lifetime average against the Orioles. He'll scatter the ball around, and he's got some power. Again, the throw over, and that'll get Mark Ellis back to the bag. Ellis has a base runner, a couple of steals, and 3 chances.
Yeah, he's never really run a lot. That's a pretty good play right there, because the 2-1 count is a hit and run count.
That one's going to be busted to short, and as Torres easily gets to it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Bottom of the second here at Camden Yards, no score. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And by Acura Advance. Young man's going to be an engineer of some sort. Will B&O work over there?
Yeah, the old B&O Railroad Museum. Know it well. Well, my stepson, who's autistic, loves trains. So Spencer, every time he's in Baltimore, he's got to go there.
That's great. There's a base hit in the gap. Luke Scott leading it off. Designated hitter chased down by Raja Davis. And the red-hot Scott continues that way as he is on with a lead-off double here in the second inning.
Well, I'll tell you, Luke just watch this short swing. Looking for a ball he can drive. And the gloves on the outside corner, ball in the middle of the plate. And he just drops the bat on, and he is so strong. And he was talking today about trying to slow everything down and breathing. And he said, boy, if I could just figure out the difference between the valleys and the mountain peaks.
Good luck.
And, well, you know, I looked at him, I go, we all had to do that. I mean, that's part of the process. Doesn't matter how old you are.
And the valleys and the peaks never go away.
No, when Cliff Pennington leads off, we'll give you some numbers next inning, and he'll give you the perfect example of what happens in this game. Whether you're Luke Scott or you're the shortstop for the A's.
Here is Adam Jones, runner at second base, no score. Orioles get the leadoff man on. That's going to go all the way to the backstop. That'll be the third wild pitch of the season from Mazzaro, and that will put the Orioles with a runner at third and nobody out.
Well, this will be a wild pitch, but I think Suzuki's thinking, I got to get out there. I mean, you got to stop that ball. I mean, it's a slider. You know it's going from right to left. Luke Scott, good base running, making sure if the ball's in the dirt, if you get a good jump, you can easily get the third. Now all of a sudden, Adam Jones says, I like hitting in this situation.
Big RBI chance for him. Comes in with the 8-game hit streak.
And they do play in at third, which is surprising.
He'll foul that one away, trying to punch it out. Adam has had just a tremendous month of June. He's hitting .315. 7 home runs in the month of June for the Orioles center fielder. There's the average, the 18 RBIs, the 15 runs. I mean, those are the Adam Jones kind of numbers that he expected and that the Orioles hoped for. Yeah, and you just like the approach. You know, it started early on in the month. Home runs to right center field, doubles to right field. That's going to be in the air to right, not particularly deep. Davis lines it up. Scott coming. Here's the throw to the plate. And Suzuki has got him by a mile. Raja Davis with a nice throw on the one-hop. And Suzuki didn't have to move on that. In fact, he had to wait. Yeah, you know, again, this is saying, you know what, you're not going to make a perfect throw, and he does. I mean, very short field here. And again, not even close. And that's part of Camden Yards. You force Raja Davis to make a perfect throw, and he did. So quickly, a real good scoring opportunity is eliminated for the Orioles. Runner at third and nobody out. Now there are 2 down and nobody on. And it's one of those game-changing type plays right there. Well, it's kind of like Corey Patterson dropping the ball down the left field line, and then you get the strikeout, then the A's don't score. Maybe it's going to be one of those games. There is the defense. Connor Jackson in left. Coco Chris doesn't have a great arm, but good speed. Davis has a good arm. You already saw that. And then pretty good infield here. So Scott retired at the plate. Did all he could to get in, but no chance. And that ball will be popped up by Craig Tatum, shortstop. Pennington is there, and he's got it. So these pitchers living dangerously as leadoff men on in both innings for the Orioles, but they do not score. chance to own a piece of Oriole history. The throwback jerseys and hats worn last Saturday by the O's Nationals are now up for auction at Orioles.com, and the proceeds will benefit the Orioles Charitable Foundation. You can even bid on the Orioles game-worn helmets and the jerseys worn in pregame ceremonies by the members of the 70 World Champs. A great chance for you to get some great items. Each has been autographed and authenticated. The bidding closes Monday. So go to Orioles.com today, and for a great cause, some great items. No score as we go to the top of the third inning. Here is Cliff Pennington. And he will take the pitch for strike.
Well, we told you about the peaks and the valleys, and 21 for his last 47. That's what, 446 after going 3 for 46. I mean, talk about up now, down, and it's over like 29 games. The 446 over the last 15 games, and then the 3 for 46 over the prior 14 games. Same guy, probably the same bats.
Pennington down on the count here. 2 strikes, Brian Mattis. And he'll get the foul ball.
Really nice night to pitch here because it's cooled off a little bit. There is a breeze, contrasted to the weekend where there wasn't a lot of breeze and temperatures in the upper 90s.
Breeze has picked up since the ball game started, blowing it looks like a bit out towards left field. That's going to miss outside, and a 1-ball 2-strike count on Pennington. Flags, of course, are at half mast for Senator Byrd. The 1-2, and that is taken up high, and a 2-ball 2-strike count on Pennington. Brian Mattis looking to get out of the 12 games in which he has gone 0-8-4, a 2-8 mark on the year. And that'll go into right field, and that's a base hit. So Pennington is on a leadoff single as the A's have had 2 out of 3 leadoff batters on. Talk about the ups and downs, Jim. Who'd have thought? Take a look at some numbers as part of this. Tampa Bay got 7 hits in 3 games against Arizona, the worst pitching staff in all of Major League Baseball based on ERA. The Cubs have had no runs or 1 run in 12 of their last 29 games, with many of those at Wrigley. And the UCLA Bruins, 106 NCAA national titles in sports, never have won one in baseball. They are in the finals against South Carolina in the College World Series.
And they're down, what, 1-0, with the second game being played tonight.
Yep. Pitch is up high, 4 ball. I mean, who'd have thought? You look at Tampa Bay, they got off to the great start. Everybody was hitting. They were putting up leading in the league offensive numbers. Can't buy a hit or a run rate.
And the best starting pitching. The bullpen was doing a nice job. And all of those things have changed.
It's a long season.
And then the Cubs get Rudy Jaramillo, one of the better hitting instructors, and can't be able to do any miracle working over there. Yeah.
A strike on the outside corner. And it goes to 1-1, runner on at first base. Chris drew the leadoff walk and was stranded in the first inning. Coco Chris back in the leadoff spot. You see Pennington, who can run a bit, not a big lead at first base. 1-1 delivery. Chris goes down the line. Patterson's going to have to chase it. Gets it on a hop. And the A's get 2 on with nobody out here in the third inning.
Part of pitching, and it looks like Brian Mattis has pretty good stuff, pretty good location. It's just really knowing who in the lineup that you're facing is red hot. So he did make a good pitch to Pennington, put a really good swing on it. He hasn't had enough experience to realize how good Coco Chris can hit, especially from the right side.
Brian has a 1-1 record, and both of those are this season. He pitched against Oakland April 18. Jim talked about it in the open. He got the win, 3 runs, 8 hits, 6 in the third. And then on May 26th, he was a losing pitcher, gave up 6 runs on 8 hits in 5 innings. So both decisions against the A's this season. Bunting, and poorly so. The runners do get back. Barton trying to lay one down, popped it right back to the pitcher, and he left his bat at home plate, disgusted with his effort.
Oh, what a huge out. Again, this is a game of execution. Can you do the little things, especially when you're not scoring a lot of runs? 11th in the American League in runs scored are the A's. Yeah, no wonder. Yep. Might be throwing it down, too. Not happy, and nor should he be.
No. That's a big out.
Well, especially when Connor Jackson, he struck out his first time with a runner at third. If he hits a ball to one of the Oriole infielders for double play, Derek Bart's going to.
They're running double steal. Throw will go to the second runner and not in time. So a double steal right there. Pennington and Crisp.
Well, young pitcher, and again, they don't get a big lead. Just takes one look, they go, they gamble. Maybe their advanced scouts told them this. And Brian Mattis doesn't really pay attention. If you only take one look, and the scouts know that, and that's what you do most of the time, they take a little bit of a risk, and it's successful, just like the bunt work.
Connor Jackson will pop this one up. It is not deep. Runner is not tagging. Patterson coming. He's got it. And the runners will go back as the throw comes into the plate. So Jackson retired. Brian Mattis has got another shot to get out of the inning here without giving up a run. 2 down. Jackson 0 for 2 now.
No strikeout, but got in on his fist, and he pops it up to short left. And you can see the wind affecting Corey Patterson because kind of staggered under that a little bit. Didn't really catch it.
Both of these teams, as we mentioned, having trouble scoring runs this year. The Orioles much better of late. So you would expect their runner in scoring position numbers not to be good, and they aren't. Oakland's hitting .243 as a team and .231 when they were 2 down with runners in scoring position. Again, here's Suzuki. Kurt Suzuki's the guy in the lineup you want up there if you're Oakland, and he's had the chances. First inning, he popped out with Crisp on at third base and 2 down. Now he's got runners at second and third and 2 away. So far, the A's already 0 for 5. We're only in the 3rd inning. Brian Mattis with a 1-0 delivery. Suzuki will take that for a strike, 1-1.
And that's part of the improvement for a young pitcher, because coming into this game, the league average against Brian was .329. Now that number can go down dramatically, and it already has with the 0 for 5 tonight. But a lot of times, you just figure, at least I did, they're going to get on. Can you get them out when they get on, and can you make your pitches? So far tonight, he's been able to do that.
1-1 delivery. Suzuki will take the pitch inside, and it will go to 2-1. Brian Mattis trying to get out of this. 3 have already been left on in the first 2 innings. First pitch, strikes thrown, 57%. Lazaro, 46% for Brian so far. 2-1. Runners off second and third. And down to third base, over the bag, fair ball, long throw, trying to one-hop it, and not in time, and a run will score. Tejada's only chance was to try and bounce one off balance, and just did not have time to get it there. A single and an RBI and a 1-0 Oakland lead.
Yeah, Suzuki's going to hit this changeup right over the bag. Nice play by Miguel. Goes a long way, knows the only way. Throw it on the ground, and then a wise play by Wigington. Throw a little bit offline. Don't give him the second run. There's the first run for the A's after Pennington singles to lead it off.
Well, the A's get on the board. Chris moves over to third base. Suzuki gets the single and the RBI, his 33rd run batted in of the season. First and third with 2 down. Now Kuzmanov, who grounded out his first time up. And he will take the pitch on the inside corner for a strike. He is right on the batter's box line with his back foot, really crowding it a bit for the backside.
Yeah, watch the front leg. It'll come towards the plate to cover that outside corner. Well, maybe not on that pitch because it was inside.
It looks like a number of these A's hitters stand really close to right on top of the plate.
Yeah, a little open stance. Open stance means that front leg is farther from the plate, so it's open to home plate. And of course, that line usually gets erased as the game progresses. Lets the ball travel a little bit farther.
1-1 delivery. Bryant's trying to stay inside. He said that hitting, talking with the home plate umpire Galbraith, who is not going to accept that.
A little fastball that runs in. If it did, it got the front arm.
Better that he drop his bat and head to first.
Well, that might be.
He'd have a better chance of convincing the umpire, you know what I mean?
By the way, that hit me.
By the way, excuse me.
Incidentally.
Excuse me, but 2 ball, 1 strike count. Runners off first and third. Zmanov lifts that one in the air to left field. That is going back. Patterson on the warning track will come in. And has he got it? Yes, he did. He's got the ball. And retires Kuzmanov. Again, Patterson, for the second time in the ball game, had a ball come back in on him. And he just got the glove down on the blades of grass. Third base umpire Ed Hickox took a very long time to make the call. The crew chief Gary Cederstrom is over there with him.
Boy, this is a shoe top snag right here. Certainly in control of it, never hit the ground, in the webbing of the glove. Wind blowing in, obviously. We thought that ball was heading for the seats or the warning track.
Normally players will hold the ball up or the glove and the ball or whatever to make sure the umpire sees it. I think Corey thought that there was no question about that, so he just caught it and didn't hold it up in the air. But
boy, plus he was trying to get off the ground.
And I was watching Ed Hickox at third, and he just waited and waited and waited, as he's supposed to do. But you got to make a call at some point, and he kept waiting for Corey to hold the ball up, and he never did.
Well, he was getting off the turf.
Yes. So it remains 1-0 A's lead as they get the run in the third inning. We go to the bottom half of the third. Orioles with Lugo, Asturias, and Patterson due up. Mazzaro's pitch will be outside. Lugo 4 for 13 against the A's in the first 7 games these teams have played on the season. And that'll be outside. And the count goes to 3-0. Mazzaro has walked 14 in the 36 innings worked. He has worked both as a reliever and as a starter this season. And that is a called strike as headed down to first base was Lugo.
Yeah, that's not going to make the home plate. I mean, his ball right down the middle. We have known all night the high strike's going to be called. Fielding Goldberg has made that perfectly clear.
Right from the first batter.
It really was.
3-1 delivery on the way, and that's the outside corner. Mazzaro worked on Wednesday, lost to Cincinnati in his last start. 2 runs, 6 hits over 7 innings, a walk and 3 strikeouts. He has a victory against the Orioles. It came last year in August. He worked 5 1/3, 3 runs, 8 hits, a walk and a strikeout. So his mark is 1-0 against the Orioles' lifetime. 3-2 delivery, and that's outside. And the Orioles have had the leadoff man on all 3 innings. Tonight's Maryland Lottery Hit It Here fan of the game is Lily Mae Campbell from Baltimore. If an Orioles player hits the Hit It Here sign located in the bullpen, Lily Mae Campbell, you're going to win $100,000. To find out more about how you can become the fan of the game, visit MarylandLottery.com/hitithere. Good luck. Lily Mae. Orioles leadoff man on base. I always wonder, people sitting at home, no advance warning, all of a sudden they could be $100,000 richer if somebody hits a sign. Do you think they watch the rest of the game?
Well, now, what did tonight you're going to have to hit it off the goalpost, so to speak, out there, because I don't know if you can hit it into the wind 430 feet.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to hit something and get the Karen, Michael Jordan off the roof, would that count? Probably.
As long as it hits the side, then it's a fair ball. It counts. Torres has got a 4-game hit streak. Runner on at first base, Lugo. And Mazzaro's got some concern. He was thrown over, stepped off. The third baseman, Guzmanov, has moved in, looking for the bunt here from his Torres.
Yeah, 5 for 10, so not a high success rate for Julio.
Good play right there. Suzuki did move the whole body to get that one. As Torres has had 4 of the Orioles' 15 sacrifices on the year. He has been hitting the ball well, though. He's got that big hole between first and second base for this at bat.
Hey, I mean, you're looking for a ball if you're a left-handed hitter. You're not the one down and away. Anything in the inside middle like that.
Runner going, so they'll take the out at first. Barton had no play with Lugo going at second base, so the Orioles get a runner down there with 1 away.
Yeah, another good breaking ball by Mazzaro. Hard slider. Haven't seen the changeup yet. That's his 3rd pitch. One of the young guys, Brett Anderson, he's had some elbow problems. Trevor Cahill, will see him on Thursday. But he was one of the guys that a lot of scouts, I was talking to Ray Fosse, said they like his stuff better. Maybe not the total package because he doesn't have that really off-speed pitch. But he's got a nice arm with movement.
1 down, runner at second base. Corey Patterson may have slightly twisted an ankle on this, and you can see it right there on that left leg. As he went down, it kind of wobbled a little bit. They took a look at it when he came back in between innings, but he's in there. Singled his first time up. 1-0 delivery to him. It's going to miss inside, and the count goes to 2-0. Well, the Orioles again get an opportunity here, another scoring chance. On at second base, Lugo. You'll keep a very close eye on Pennington, the shortstop. Juan Samuel will keep a close eye on him. Make sure he doesn't get too far off that bag. And Suzuki's going to go out here and check on the signs, and Pennington is going to come in as well. Well, they're meeting. Time for our AT&T Mobility Trivia question. And it is: who was the last pitcher to win 20 games in 5 straight seasons? Clemens, Catfish, Steve Carlton, Greg Maddux. 20 games, 5 straight years.
Well, it had to be Clemens.
Clemens. Here's the 2-0 delivery. I'll take Maddux.
Nope.
And the answer is
nope.
Catfish Hunter.
So, well, I knew it wasn't Maddux.
Okay.
And I thought it was Clemens.
Well, obviously, it shows
Catfish.
That's a ways back. 71, 75.
That'll probably get you into the Hall of Fame, don't you think?
You got a chance. You got a chance.
And of course, he did it. Well, you know what? I bet he did it the 4 years with Oakland, and then when he went to the Yankees in '75, he won 22 games that year. So I bet it was
3-1. Foul back 3 with Oakland and a year with the Yankees.
Well, 5. So maybe 4 with Oakland, and of course he was on those 3 World Championships team. And then when they didn't give him a bonus or something, and he became a free agent, and the Yankees swept down.
Yes, they did. Opened the satchel and dropped money on him.
Gee, some things never change.
3 ball, 2 strike count. 1 down, runner at second base, and that's going to come inside to him. So the Orioles have 2 on here. It's been a couple of walks in the inning. First and second, and 1 out for Tejada.
Well, we talked to you about good stuff, and sometimes the command iffy. And you're seeing it right here. Good velocity, 93, just missing his spots. But remember his last outing, he went 7 innings, and of the 21 outs, 13 were on the ground, and that's what he's looking for. Of course, Miguel's looking for something up, something he can hit in the gaps. And they play him a couple of steps to right center field, as most teams do.
So let's see who wins the battle here, as Tejada will go after that first pitch and foul it away. One thing to look for in this series, the A's have been committing a lot of errors. They've had 18 errors in the month of June, second only to Cleveland in the American League for the month. That's a lot of errors. And they have had their problems turning double plays, so the Orioles will hope it'll be another one of those series where maybe they'll have opportunities presented that they can take advantage of. That one off the fist to third. Desmanoff one, relay by Rosales, and there's the ground ball they wanted. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one left on base. 3 complete, first of 3 against Oakland. Charged on that ball, but it actually saved a run for the Orioles. Then he caught that one, and that would end the inning and save another run for the Orioles. Corey Patterson, a busy night in left field so far. He's been chasing him down. We go to the 4th inning. 1-4-0 for the A's, 0-2-1 for the Orioles. Run scoring in the 3rd inning. The RBI by Suzuki with 2 down. Giving the A's the lead. Corey Patterson trying to help Brian Mattis here get win number 3 on the season. Rosales will lead it off. He lined out to short his first time up. And will take the off-speed breaking ball. It is in there for a strike. Rosales last start Wednesday, and he was at shortstop. He started at 5 different positions this season, and he's playing at second base in the ball game tonight. More and more we see these utility players who are truly utilized around the diamond having an opportunity to play in Major League Baseball to help out benches, which have been shortened because so many teams carry the extra pitch.
Yeah, they really do. And he started playing left field, even though he played the infield for Cincinnati last year before we traded for Aaron Miles. And Bob Guerin said, "You can play left." Yeah, got him some at bats.
Good change up.
Oh yeah, great change up there. Well, the changeup, it's located, it's thrown well. You get ahead 0-2, so the hitter's going to chase. I mean, maybe not 6 inches off the corner, but this tells you about the deception of the pitch. A great arm speed, and you can see the bat head way out in front of that pitch. That's what the changeup is designed to do. And he's established that pitch tonight, no doubt about that.
Brian's got a couple of strikeouts in the ballgame.
See, when he can, talking about Brian Mattis, when he can establish that pitch right there, that 2-seam fastball with the changeup and have the ability to pitch in, the game will become less difficult.
0-1 delivered. Fouled off. Mark Ellis had a single, the designated hitter.
And then, of course, a little run support. Good combination. You pitch well, you do your job, and they get your runs, and that usually translates into wins.
All sounds so easy, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, but you can, and I think Brian's where is he can be better at doing his job, and that's what he's been working on.
He'll miss with that one, and a 1-ball, 2-strike count. For Brian Mattis here in this ballpark at Camden Yards, he's 0-4 this year with an ERA of 4.7. 2-5 in 10 career starts here at Camden Yards. His career ERA is 4.6 when he pitches here at Oriole Park. 2 ball, 2 strike count on Ellis. He does get the leadoff batter out. And it'll be fouled away by Ellis, and it'll stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I think another factor for a young pitcher, whether Brian Mattis, but specifically tonight because he's pitching, is that when he commanded that outside corner, we saw that with Eric Bedard when Ray Miller came back and was able to get him to do that. All of a sudden, the pitch count goes down. Hitters have to respect both sides of the plate. Pitch count goes down over the course of your game.
Ellis fights off another one down the line. There'll be no play on that. It's turned into just a magnificent night here. We started at 88 degrees, but it's cooled off a bit, and the skies have cleared up after some thunderstorms were in the area. Just some high clouds right now. Just a very nice night. Lights have taken effect here. It's a beautiful evening. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And it came inside on him. Ellis again able to fight it off. Ellis has been struggling at the plate on the homestand, 4 for 20. He's got reverse numbers for this ball club. He's hitting only .229 at home and .315 on the road. And that's contrary to what most of the other A's have done. The A's have been a pretty good team at home, where they are 24 and 16, but on the road they are 13 and 24. So for Bob Guerin, it's been about trying to find some wins away from the big Coliseum. The 3-2 delivery, and fouled it.
Yeah, they used to be about what? On base percentage and guys that could hit home runs. Mark Ellis said today, he said, we just have more athleticism on this team. So what we still try to do is pitch well, but we try to steal some bases, hit and run. We've seen him do that tonight.
And it's caught. Todd up in the air to get it. Ellis retired, 2 down.
Oh, there's your point guard right there playing third tonight. Let's see. Yeah. Get the feet set. You can go either way. Nice little grab.
A couple of balls have been hit hard tonight and caught by the Orioles off the bats of the A's. 2 outs, 1-2-3 inning maybe. And that's going to be fouled back. Rajah Davis trying to get out of the 0 for 19 that he's in. On Saturday, July 17, the first 25,000 fans 21 and over are going to get the Brooks Robinson replica jersey presented by Real Street Staffing. Don't miss your chance to honor a Birdland legend and dress like a hero. For tickets, call the Orioles 888-848-BIRD or go to Orioles.com. July 17.
Toronto, I think, is in right after the All-Star break.
That's going to be fouled away. And a 2-strike count on Davis.
I saw Brooksy, of course, in the reunion weekend, and then today they had a ceremony for the late traveling secretary Phil Itzo. It was a wonderful program. And about 1 o'clock at the warehouse, Brooks spoke. He was last speaker.
That's going to be a base hit. So he gets out of the 0 for 19. That's a great idea by the Orioles, recognizing Phil and having a day and a time like that with so many people here at the ballpark and coming back to honor him.
Oh, it really was. And, I got to meet his sister, his brother, a lot of the uncles. Of course, I always knew his wife, Tylisa, because her mother actually worked for the Orioles, Helen Conklin, worked for years. Part of the great front office the Orioles had. Bob Brown, who was our PR guy, but preceded Phil as the traveling secretary. He was there, spoke. But, glowing things about one of the great guys in the game, and very good at what he did.
Easy to say glowing things about Phil.
Boy, I met him. I got here when I was 19. He had came the year before. And I was telling Josh Itcho, his son, I said, I knew him when he had dark hair. Most of us knew, his hair grayed a little bit. Still being one of the best traveling secretaries. And at 70, suffered a stroke and then would eventually pass away. But
great day.
Yeah, really. Yeah, tough, but it really acknowledged what this organization was about.
Now a decision here, what they want to throw. So Tatum going out, as he and Mattis were not on the same page on this. Pennington delivered a single and scored in the 3rd inning. A double steal helped set that up. He and Coco Crisp and Suzuki would get the RBI. Now Pennington trying to keep the inning alive with a runner at first, 2 down. He had a real good homestand, went 7 for 14 during the homestand. That one to short. Squibber will be played to second. As Torres to Lugo for the force out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. It's a 1-0 A's lead. Is brought to you by AT Rethink Possible, and by Green Turtle Sports Bar and Grill. Bring your Green Turtle receipt to the Orioles box office for a buy one get one free ticket offer for any non-prime game. With Jim Palmer and Theo Harris, I'm Gary Thorne. A 1-0 lead for the A's as we open up this 3-game set here at Camden Yards. It'll be Kevin Millwood and Ben Sheets in the ball game tomorrow night, and Thursday night Jake Arrieta will go against Trevor Cahill. Arrieta 2-1, Cahill 7-2.
Yeah, great sinker baller. That's what Mazzaro's been able to do tonight. Good movement, and when he walked a couple of guys, he was able to throw that running fastball in on the fist of Miguel Tejada, and he bounced into a double play.
Nick Markakis leading it off for the Orioles. Mazzaro's pitch is in there, and the count goes to 1-1 on Nick. Markakis, 8 hits, 23 at-bats during the homestand. He's hit in 9 of the last 11 at a .390 clip. And he'll take the pitch inside, keeping that average above the 300 mark, 305. And part of the discussion about who's going to go to the All-Star game in Anaheim and wear the Orioles cap. He certainly is one under consideration. 2-1 delivery on the way, and that will be taken inside, and it goes to 3-1.
Oh, yeah, you have Wigginton, who leads the team in home run. They talked about Birkin, who's been outstanding, but he's a middle reliever. They don't pick them very often. Juan Samuel, the interim manager, said, well, Jones, he's hot. And, of course, he also said, I hope he stays hot.
Yeah.
Mainly because we want to win some games. But Markakis has never gone. He certainly would be a deserving guy because he can do so many things. And he's actually a better outfielder, at least lately, than Adam Jones, even though Jones won the Gold Glove, so he can help you win.
Orioles have had the leadoff man on now all 4 innings, and that's a leadoff walk. Oriole Park, perfect setting for your next group outing. Gather up the family, friends, colleagues. Enjoy a fun-filled day or night of baseball. Ticket options, any price range, party facilities to fit any size group. Oriole Park, great experience for your group. Call the Orioles, 888-848-BIRD. Ty Wigginton will go after it and pop it up outside of first. Barton coming over along with Suzuki and leaning in and going over the rail, but with no chance to get to it.
Yeah, I think that wind again swirls here at Camden Yards, so it looked like it may because we saw the wind knock it down. Might blow back in. Nice effort. I'm sure Wiggy's happy that it blew into the stands with the camera well. So the back problems did play on Sunday. It wasn't easy for him. He said had it locked up back in 2006, but does feel better today.
Wiggy hitting at .265. He's gone 29 games between home runs. We're talking about the All-Star game. One final thought. Juan Samuel will have a big say about that. The decision is not his, but what he recommends will be taken to heart by the Yankee manager in making the decisions on who will fill out the roster. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Wigginton. That's going to be popped back. Suzuki coming and will not have a play.
Well, Adam Jones, because he went last year and he's a Gold Glover. I mean, he's the obvious choice. But he really hasn't played well defensively. We know he's hitting well. And I'd hate to have the American League lose the game. I mean, Markakis is, he's an understated guy. I mean, he's a Gold Glove right fielder. He hasn't won it, but he should have. And he can hit lefties. Not a power guy, but hitting over 300. He's done a lot of good things. So it'll be interesting just to kind of see what the matchup is, I suppose, as far as what the blend of that expanded roster is going to be for Joe Girardi.
It'll be just about whatever he wants it to be, obviously, since he has a big say in the extra players. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Ty Wigginton, runner at first base. Wiggy, a chopper that literally came off the plate. Kuzmanov has to short hop it and makes a nice play. Gets the out. Markakis will go down to second base. Wigginton is retired.
Yeah, you got a sinker ball pitcher to a high ball hitter, and that's how you get this Baltimore chop. I think he might have lost it in the lights because he would have gotten that a lot quicker. Makes a nice recovery, snap throw, but the Orioles do get the potential tying run into second base.
Well, try it again. Orioles have had some chances here in the ball game, and now Luke Scott will get another. He led off the second inning with a double and got thrown out at the plate on a Jones fly ball to right field that Roger Davis made a nice throw on from fairly shallow right to get the out at the plate. Orioles with a couple of hits. A's have 5 in the ball game, and the A's have the 1-0 lead. Scott will take the pitch for a strike.
Now, the one thing Luke has struggled with 121 with runners in scoring position, and you can see a little bit why, because the minute that they do get runners in scoring position, the way they pitch him changes. He's a better fastball hitter. Doesn't mean he can't hit the breaking ball, but first pitch is a slider for strike 1.
And a look back. Orioles slowly pushing up those runner in scoring position numbers. Tough to do now because there have been so many at-bats when you talk about the team number, which is at 231.
That's about 18 points higher than it was 2 weeks ago.
Yep. Even down in the teens.
Yep.
0-1 count on Scott, runner off second. Mazzaro's pitch will miss, and the count goes to 1-1. As a starter, Mazzaro has gone against Texas, the Angels, Giants, Cardinals, and Cincinnati. His win came against the Angels. He lost to Cincinnati and the Giants. No decisions against the Cardinals and Texas. It sounds like he's a National League pitcher, doesn't it? Interleague play, he was heavily involved in it. And that will miss, and it is a 2 ball, 1 strike count.
Well, 4 and 9 last year, and then some shoulder problems shut him down in early September. Again, pitch count has so much to do it. Only 22 years of age. Across more than 6 innings only twice in 17 starts, and those were his first 2 starts. So that even that win against the Orioles with good stuff is only 5 2/3 innings.
That one in the air to second. Salas is back waving everybody off, and he's got it. And Scott is retired. Talked about the fact interleague numbers. Well, interleague play, of course, is over. Some interesting notes out of it. Boston pitchers hit .313 as a team for their pitchers in interleague play. Seattle pitchers went 0 for 18. They were the only team that had at least 1 hit in each year of interleague play. This year they got none. The White Sox had a 15-3 record. Amazing. Jason Birkin, 12 2/3 innings, no runs in interleague action. In the National League DHs, not so good. Jason Birkin, just the 3rd pitcher all time to have an ERA that low, which is 0.00, and work 12 2/3 innings or more.
Yeah, he's really been on a roll. I mean, it seemed like through the first, at least major part of it, it was just about tied. And what the American League won 134, the National League 118.
Big cut by Adam.
Well, what would Eddie Murray say? A little bit too hard of a swing. Your head's in left center, out in the bleachers, and the ball is arriving. Yeah, there is Jason Birkin. He has found his niche in the bullpen.
Third most innings ever thrown in interleague play by a pitcher with an ERA of 0. 1 ball, 1 strike count. And that will be taken outside. Adam letting that go by. And it'll go to 2-1. Trying to extend the hit streak, which is 8 coming in. He certainly has done well against Oakland on the year. 10 hits and 32 at bats. He hit the fly ball to right to Davis. Got to the plate in time to get Scott in the second inning. 2-1 delivery to him. And again, trying to get him to chase that pitch, and he doesn't. And it goes to 3-1.
Yeah, who do you want to pitch to? You know, I like Craig Tatum on deck, but as hot as Jones is, 1-0 ball game, sometimes you have to take one of those risk-reward situations, and I'm not sure you're going to throw it right down the middle to Adam here. Make your pitch or pitch to the next hitter.
And he doesn't mess with him. So there is the 4th walk, second in this inning, putting runners on at first and second with 2 down.
And you got to like the fact, whether you're Juan Samuel managing this club or Terry Crowley, the hitting instructor, that he took that pitch. Because now you go to first. Kurt Young, the pitching coach, who's been terrific. Been there the last 6 years. They're usually right up there with the leaders and fewest runs, home runs thrown, and ERA, I think, second over the last 6-7 years.
We talked about their offense, which has struggled. Their starting pitching has the 3rd best ERA in the league and the 2nd fewest hits per 9 innings. Their relief, middle of the pack. They're 8th in ERA for their bullpen. So their starters have been the difference in the season pitching wise for them.
And Mazzaro is very much like a lot of the early pitchers. You know, young, only 23. You know, last year kind of got his feet wet, had some shoulder problems. He's back.
Tatum gets the RBI chance here. First and second, 2 down. Wieters getting a break in the ball game, so Tatum getting the start. He had a career-high 3-hit ball game against Florida on Thursday. Matt available, watching right now. 1-0 delivery, Tatum towards third. Kuzmanoff another short hop play. Had to do that twice in the inning. That's a good job. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 are left on base. 1-0 A's. The Ford dealer invites you to experience Ford like never before. Ford, drive one. 1-0 lead at Camden Yards. Great to have you with us. In the first of 3, the Orioles 4-2 in this homestand, looking for a season-high 5th consecutive win. 4 in a row have come where they've had to come from at least 3 runs behind to win. They are trailing in this one 1-0, so things seem to be in kind of the perfect center. Ryan Mattis on the mound. He has walked 1 and struck out 2. And Coco Crisp puts it in the air. That's going to go into the gap. Jones chasing, reaching, can't get it. Nick Markakis will follow it up, thinking 3. Crisp will make the turn. Here's the relay throw, and no play on him. A triple to lead off the inning in the first pitch. So he's been on every time up. Triple, single, and a walk.
Just have a friend used to say, well, he makes the run and didn't have any fun. Ball blowing away from him, doesn't get to it. And this is what Coco Crisp is all about. You know, he's gotten on. This is triple right out of the box. That's how you get to third with nobody out. More pressure on Brian Mattis because of lack of run support.
2 triples on the year. Bear in mind, Crisp is playing in only his 8th game because of injuries. He is on, in at third base, Tejada. Everybody else back in the infield and hit him right in the middle of the bat. Martin is on, a hit batter.
Wow, this is what the scoreboard does to young pitchers. You figure I got to be perfect, lead off triple. I can't give up another run. You know, again, if you got 4 or 5 runs, you're going, you know what, I'm just going to get an out. So right here, trying to go up and in. That's not his strength. Ball gets away from him, and all of a sudden now, I'm going to get your pitching coach, Rick Kranitz, out because Rick knows as well as anybody, stay away from the big innings. If they get a run, you were just talking about it. You know, the 3, the 6, the 5 runs, the 3 runs, all the wins come from behind.
Rick Kranitz will have a word with him. 3rd hit batter by Brian Mattis on the year. Puts the first 2 on. The corners are covered for the A's now. 77, the number thrown. And he's got the middle of the order. Connor Jackson has had his opportunities. He came up with a runner at third, 1 down in the first inning. Stayed alive on a Corey Patterson error that actually benefited the Orioles when he dropped the ball. Run would have scored otherwise. It didn't. Jackson gets another shot here and will take the strike on the inside corner. He also flied out to left in the 3rd inning when he had a couple of runners on.
You know, I think the mindset for any pitcher, especially a young guy, is, you know what, I'm going to make my pitches. If I get ahead, 2 strikes, maybe I strike him out. That's when I go for it. Otherwise, I take a double play ball here.
Nobody out. Jackson on a big cut.
No, that's a great curveball. Slider, whatever they have down on the thing, but it's just a good breaking ball. It starts in the middle of the plate and darts to the back foot.
Mattis, the only strikeout he's had against Connor Jackson in that first inning after that fly ball was dropped by Corey Patterson. Runners off first and third. Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way. And a towering pop-up. He was trying to get a sac fly, and he got way under it. And Wigginton will put it away for the first out.
Well, you know, it's amazing, Gary. Sometimes, you know, again, you're thinking down and away with the changeup. That's how he struck him out the first time, and he actually hangs it. And you can see Connor Jackson, he's got an uppercut swing. I mean, he hit that ball straight up. He had a good pitch to hit, just got under it, and you know he's disappointed. Can't be happy about these at-bats.
Boy, these middle-of-the-order hitters really getting chances. Here's Suzuki again. First inning, he had a runner at third, 2 down. He popped out. 3rd inning, came up and got an RBI base hit with a couple of base runners on. Now he's got runners at first and third again, and only 1 away.
Yeah, he's their leading guy with the runners in scoring position, over 300 to 302.
And Suzuki takes a cut at the pitch that may have been a little bit up, but he went after it. Well, again, Brian Mattis has had to work his way around problems throughout the ball game. Again here, Crisp on at third base, Barton hit by a pitch on at first.
Well, he certainly has the capability for a young guy to pitch out of jams because he can get you out so many different ways.
Suzuki 0-1. He has only struck out 20 times on the year. Doesn't walk either. Breaking ball will miss inside and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. These have been tough pitches thrown in the ball game by Brian Mattis.
Well, it seems if you go back, this is his 16th start, and when I go down and look at the numbers, on 4 occasions he has pitched poorly. And he gave up 6, 6, 6, and 7 runs. Other than that, all under 4, with only 1 at 4. All the rest under, just no run support. So it's always been a struggle.
1-1 delivery down low. Tatum able to get it. Suzuki, as we said, has been hitting the long ball in June. He's had homers in back-to-back games. First time he's done it this year, and the 7th time that he's had back-to-back homer games in his career. He has never had a back-to-back-to-back home run set of games. But he does have the team-leading 10 home runs. 2-ball, 1-strike count. Not a fast runner. Barton on at first base and staying close to the bag against Brian Mattis. Breaking ball, nubbed. That's all over the place. Wigginton bobbles. Brian Mattis, good job to get over to cover, but a run will score. So Crisp will score, an RBI credited to Suzuki, so he's got both of them, and it is a 2-0 lead.
Well, now you see the importance of that, turning that double into a triple off the bat. And there's a lot of spin, can't quite get it in the glove, out of the web. Nice job by Brian Mattis to cover the base, finds it. And they're running over there trying to get the ball and locate the base. So they get another run, and they also get another runner in scoring position.
That was a Minnesota Fats ground ball right there. Boy, was that thing cued. Now there are 2 down with a runner on at second base. And that will bring up Kuzminoff, who has grounded out and flied out. Nice catch made by Patterson in left field in his last at bat. He'll chop that one to third. Tejada will drop it, and everybody's safe. So Barton moves over to third base, and the A's will have an error and a runner. The error against Tejada.
Yeah, again, you make this play. Mattis is out of the inning if you don't. And we got a shortstop move to third base. I don't know if many advanced scouts talking glowingly about the infield defense with Roberts out. Sturis has played pretty well, but again, Miggy knows it. He catches it, most likely going to make the play.
9 errors on Tejada on the year. Now first and third. And extra work needed against Rosales. 2 down. And the breaking ball in. Rosales is lined out and struck out. Rosales lifetime now. A couple of hits, 8 at bats, including a home run off Brian Mattis. Well, here's the big moment right here with the extra out. Brian Mattis to be able to get out of this. Rosales 293 off lefties, 246 off righties, goes to left again. Patterson in place, and he's got it. So Brian Mattis gets the out he needed. A run will score. Crisp with a leadoff triple crossing the plate. Suzuki 2 RBIs in the game.
Orioles home game. There are plenty of big screen HD TVs to catch all the action on Masson. Plus, each game, the O's All Access pregame show is broadcast live from the bar with Tom Davis and Dave Johnson from 1 hour before the game, right up to game time. Don't miss the bar's pregame specials and postgame fun. So the next time you visit Oriole Park, stop by the Bud Light Warehouse Bar on Utah Street. Gary?
And a beautiful evening to be there and enjoying it, Amber. Good ball game, 2-0. The A's are on top. The Orioles will see if they've got another comeback in them against the A's in the opener of this set. Lazaro on the mound has walked 4. He has struck out 1. He has lived dangerously. The Orioles have had the leadoff man on all 4 innings. Julio Lugo will lead it off here. Lugo drew a walk to lead off the third. There's Torres, and then the top of the order, Patterson to follow. Julio hitting at 239. Needing a base runner right here. He'll take to see if he can draw another one of those walks. Nazaro's given up 18 walks now in the 40 innings that he has worked. He's closing in on a 1-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. 18 walks and 23 strikeouts. 1-1, and he hit him. So Lugo, who didn't like it very much, starts out towards the mound. Obviously, I say obviously, unless there's some history there, that's not a situation where you'd be trying to hit the leadoff guy.
Nope, not with a 2-0 lead. That's just react. Nobody likes to get hit. You can see Kurt Suzuki just saying, hey, keep going. Young pitcher. He talked about no command. Drops his arm a little bit. Ball runs and it hurts. That's your reaction right in the middle of the back. Man. But you have taken one for the club, even though that wasn't your intent. You're on. A couple of runs down. It hurts.
Juan Samuel out talking with the home plate umpire, Culbreth. I don't think there was a warning given here. I think that's what Juan was asking about. I didn't see any warning of any kind. There wouldn't seem to be a need.
You wouldn't think that unless you're a mind reader. You don't want that because Mattis pitches inside all the time.
Yeah. I think he wanted to make sure there wasn't the warning. So the Orioles again, 5 innings with a leadoff man on base. Here's Torres, who grounded out his first time up, and he squared the bunt. It hit him on the foot. I think the home plate umpire's not called this yet. Home plate umpire's made no call, and he's saying no. That's why you got to keep playing. And now,
well, go check the ball.
Ball's coming out.
You know, I have somebody that sat in the dugout. Go check the ball. See if there's any shoe polish on it. Spread around a bunt. Hard to really tell with a cloud of dust there.
That may not have hit him.
No, it's hard. You know, if it did, it wasn't significant. And
he gave it a pretty good show, though. His Torres jumped around on one foot, and generally, home plate umpire, if he's not sure, will read the batter on that.
I'm sure Juan's saying, "Hey, ask somebody." See, that foot's planted right there.
You can't tell.
Ball does change direction, but again, it was a breaking ball, so you have to spin anyway.
So it'll be a wild pitch, which will move Lugo down to second base. Second wild pitch of the ball game. The ball squirts away, and there was no call made, and down to third. Hickok's not saying anything, not asked about it. And we'll get a meeting at the mound as Young's going to come out again to try and settle Mizero down.
Yeah, this is the time of the game as you try to creep back in it, trailing 2-0, where you have the little things. So we were talking, Gary, that this is what went on Thursday. Pretty good early, but then even better. They trailed 6 to what? That was a game against the Marlins. Friday night they scored. They trailed 6-3. They were down 6-0 at one point. And then Saturday again, late good batting average. Sunday, Catalano on the mound for the National. All of a sudden, in the middle of things, put it all together. Some nice adjustments by the Oriole hitters.
On Samuel, seen his ball club battle back. Now let's see what he does here. It's a 1-0 count, runner at second base, playing in at first and third. There is the square. There's the bunt. And it is fouled off. So trying to move the runner, Lugo, over to third base here with nobody out. And Patterson, the on-deck batter. Mizero has hit one batter and thrown a couple of wild pitches and walked 4. And had the leadoff man on every inning and still has a 2-0 lead. 23-year-old. Again, will be looking for the bunt. Pitcher covering the third base side of the mound on this. 1-1 delivery. And swinging away this time down the line. That is going to fall in. Fair ball. It'll roll around in the corner. Lugo will score. On his way to second base is Torres, a double and an RBI, and it's a 2-1 ball game.
Yeah, gutsy managing in the sense that normally in a bunting situation, if they want to give you an out in the 5th inning, you take it. So he just throws him a fastball. He lets him swing away. Talking about Juan Samuel. Nice approach. Just slaps it right inside the line for 2. Lugo. He knows it's ball. He's going to score easily. And there's your first run.
12 RBIs for the Orioles shortstop, who's now got a 5-game hit streak, and Lugo taking one for the team, being hit by that pitch. It pays off for the Orioles as he comes around to score.
And again, they will play the first baseman, Derek Barton, in. So I don't think it's going to be bunting here.
First and third are in. Patterson, the leadoff batter, does square and fouls it way back over the screen. Corey has walked and singled in the game. Oh, let's see if he stays with it. Patterson's got 4 sacrifices.
Yeah, a little different animal at the plate in a sense because Corey's been so hot. You know, last 15 games hitting over 330, 8 multi-hit games. So
Patterson's got a lot of room. This infield's moving all over the place.
So let him swing away.
0-1 delivery, a drag bunt. Got to go to first. Second baseman to cover Rosales. That will move as Torres down to third base. On the sacrifice, one away. Took a look over. Barton did to third base, but he had no chance to get his Torres.
Yeah, pretty routine sacrifice. And again, the ball bunted fairly hard, but good speed with its Torres going from second to third. And obviously good speed going down the line.
Now the infield is going to move in with one away. Tejada sit into a double play and struck out. Suzuki having to make the stop on that one. With a good bit of knee walking right there in a 1-0 count.
Well, you can do it because you have a ground ball pitcher if he throws that sinker. That's how he got the double play.
Now his Torres average speed on the base paths will be interesting to see if he goes on contact here on a ball on the ground or not. Gary Allenson down there, that's already been relayed to the base runner. That'll be foul back. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Tejada. Miggy with the RBI chance. As Torres trying to get off as far as he can. Can't get a particularly big lead, though, with pitcher working out of the stretch and the third baseman playing even with the bag. 1-1 delivery. Tejada down the line and foul. 1-2. Miggy trying to get the run in as the Orioles have come within 1 here, getting a run across in the inning, trying for yet another comeback to get a lead in this ball game against the A's. And Tejada, 2-game hit streak coming in, 5 for 9. 1-2 delivery on the way. That's outside. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Miggy has had 5 hits and 24 at-bats against Oakland on the season. This is game number 8 that these two teams have played. Ben Mazzaro with a delivery. Tejada on the cut. Down and away. Suzuki hangs on to it, and a very big strikeout. 2 for him in the ballgame.
Yeah, you give him an out, and then your pitcher takes over. The 23-year-old right-hander. What a great pitch this is. Slider. Tejada anxious. 4 for 30. Now 4 for 30 run. 1 with runners at third base, and he just doesn't catch up with the slider. Terrific pitcher's pitch. Up to Markakis.
Now the Orioles get their best with runners in scoring position to the plate. Nick Markakis, 305 overall. 2 down, runner at third. Orioles trail by 1. And the pitch will be taken for a ball. Here's the Oriole chance to get this thing tied up in the 5th inning. Markakis, a slide out, drawn a walk. Nick will take the slider. That's going to be down low, 2-0. And Wigginton, the cleanup batter, on deck. Markakis, 346 with runners in scoring position and 2 down. An area the Orioles have had a low number in as a team, 214. But Nick at 346, just a great number. And trying to add to it here with a 2-out RBI. As Torres, the potential run at third. Here's the 2-1 delivery to him. Wanted it outside, got it there, and it'll be down and away, and it goes to 3-1. Sure doesn't look like he wants anything to do with Markakis.
Wigginton's not hot. Nick is. Again, it's certainly, there's some risk to it, because if Wigginton gets one, and they've already seen him hit 2 home runs when the Orioles were out there in April in Oakland.
3-1 delivery, and he walked him. 5 walks in the ball game. 2 on and 2 down. This summer, your kids can learn to play like the pros from the pros. It's the official Orioles summer baseball camp, 7 to 16-year-olds. 5 days of training, current, former O's, free membership to the Junior Orioles Dugout Club, and a chance to play at Oriole Park. Register now for the July 19th through 22nd summer camp at Memorial Park in York, PA. Dates and details, 410-472-3500, or go to Orioles.com. Well, here is Ty Wigginton. Wigginton has had an 0 for 2. He's flied out and grounded out. And he'll go after the first one on a shot pitch inside to him. Fouls it back for a strike.
Yeah, 94 right over the fist. And that was obviously a ball, but Ty's an aggressive guy. That ball ran a lot. Good news for Ty is that he didn't make contact and put it in play. Hard to really do much with the ball that far inside.
Is Turris off third, Markakis off first. The 0-1 delivery. Wigginton holds back on it. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Orioles have left 4 on base so far, 2 of those in scoring position. The A's have already left 7 on base, 3 in scoring position. Wigginton, that's a strike. Nazaro moved that in just a little bit and caught the corner of the plate, and it'll go to 1 and 2. Tight ball game. 2 ball clubs getting some chances early on. 1-2 delivery. Wigginton towards third. This one off to go to second for the force out. Rosales is there to get it. So the strategy works. The Orioles, however, 1 up on the board. They trail now 2-1. Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Celebrate the world we share. Good ball game under here. 2-6-0 the A's, 1-3-2 for the O's. Runs are earned. The errors have not resulted in anything unearned. Brian Mattis, with a walk and a couple of strikeouts in the ball game, has worked his way out of problems. He gets the bottom third of the bottom part of the order. Ellis, Davis, and Pennington, and that'll be outside.
Well, again, you could see Coco Crisp back in the lineup, triple single run, also walked, and led off the game with the only walk of the night. So again, not a lot of balls hit hard. In fact, some of the ones that hit hard have actually been outs, but they've had a lot of nice at bats, and that's why the pitch count up there right around the 90 mark. So for Brian Mattis, Brian needs that pitch count right at 90. This will be the 91st. Needs an easy inning.
Pitch is going to be taken up high, and a 2-ball, 1 strike count.
And I think as Brian gets his innings in, you will see balls closer to the strike zone. First one way outside, curveball high.
Ellis has got a base hit, 1 for 2 in the ball game. He'll pop that one up second base. Lou goes over, puts it away, and Ellis is retired.
Yeah, he's still smarting from that ball in his back. I'll take everything. Get out of the way.
Leadoff man retired. Ball game like this that matters takes away a lot of the options for the manager, Bob Guerin. Here's Rajah Davis. He has singled and popped out. He shows bunt again. He got rid of the 0 for 19 with a single in the 4th inning. He's actually done well against the Orioles. He's had 8 hits now and 30 at-bats this year against the O's, but has really been struggling. 1-0 delivery. Davis in the air. Center field. Jones. 2 down. 2 away. Bases empty. Ryan Mattis trying to find that 1-2-3 inning. So far has eluded him. GMC game flow in this one. It has been about the pitchers able to find the big outs. Both teams have had runners on. Chances with runners in scoring position, but a hard time pushing them across. Mazzaro and Mattis both have done a good job of finding key outs. Cliff Pennington single, scored in the 3rd inning. Suzuki has both Oakland RBIs, one on a single, one on a ground ball out. Pennington hitting at 249. He'll take the pitch for a strike. That's been a strike all night and still is.
Yeah, you know, I think most hitters look at that pitch and they say that ball's up and away, but not tonight.
Pennington sorry to see interleague action stop. He's a .396 average in interleague play. Big time number. 3rd best in Oakland history in interleague action. 2-1 delivery to him, and that one's going to be popped up second base. Lou go back. Brian Mattis has a solid 1-2-3 inning, just what he wanted to do against the bottom part of the order. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning, a 2-1 A's lead. And may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Good ball game underway here at Camden Yards as the O's look to make it 5 in a row, and if they're going to do it, it will have to be yet another comeback as they trailed in this game 2-0. It is now 2-1. Luke Scott has doubled and popped out, and Scott will take it away for a ball.
You know, not a lot of hits, and again, you saw about the double, but with the runner in scoring position, unable to get him in. Lugo gets hit by a pitch as Torres gets him in.
That ball is off the end of the bat, hit in the air to the gap in right center field, and it'll be hauled in by Coco Crisp on the warning track. 1 away here in the 6th inning.
Well, the one thing that Mazzaro has done really nice tonight is his fastball's got great movement. You know, for a young guy, he's been between 92 and 94 miles per hour. And again, when the ball runs that much, it's harder to center. So even if you throw in the middle of the plate, it doesn't end there because of that run, the movement on the pitch. And so you get a good swing, but the ball moves a little bit off the center of the bat, and it's a difference between a home run and maybe a double or just a routine fly ball.
Here is Adam Jones trying to extend his 8-game hit streak. He has walked and had a fly ball to right that ended up being a double play. Boy, Adam has really had a great month of June. He's going to be sorry to see this month come to an end, or happy to continue it on, he hopes, in the month of July. 1-0 delivery to him in the big cut, and that'll put him behind in the count. Only a couple of strikeouts from Azaro in the ballgame, but they come at key moments when he's needed to have them. Tejada in the 5th inning with runner in scoring position. That'll be taken away. 2 ball, 1 strikeout.
Well, he's fastball slider, so you have about an 8 to 9 mile per hour difference. Everything's hard. Hadn't thrown a lot of changeup. I don't even know if he has thrown one, but again, out of the middle of the plate when he needed to make pitches. But a lot of hitters counts. But it tells you it's always about the radar gun. Do you pick the ball up? What kind of movement do you have? Apparently, he's deceptive.
Great part of these at-bats, as we've talked about, is Adam staying off those pitches, the one you just saw. Therefore, he gets one to hit. Kuzmanov down there has become an earth garden excavator. He's scooped up more short hops down there at third base. 3 of them in the ballgame tonight. They're not easy plays, and he's done a good job.
Well, you know, last year at San Diego, you know, hitter, 18, 21 home runs, 30 doubles, but he only made 3 errors. He's already got 7, but tonight, of course, Eric Chavez, who won 6 or 7 Gold Gloves, you know, he's still trying to make a comeback. Has some neck problems now, so Kuzmanov's done a nice job.
Here's Tatum, and he will take it for his strike. Tatum has popped out and grounded out. 2 down, nobody on here in the 6th inning. This has settled in to be a pretty good pitching duel. An unexpected one in this ball game. Dallas Braden was supposed to be the starter, but was scratched late this afternoon. As Braden, 4 and 7, who had pitched that perfect game, has got an elbow problem, as Amber told you about earlier in the game. They hope he's not going to miss a start, though.
5-1 against the Orioles.
Yep. That one punched up in the air to shallow right. Second baseman Rosales is there, and he's got it. So a 1-2-3 inning, and we've completed 6 here at Camden Yards, and we go on a low-scoring pitchers duel to the 1. A's on top.
stays on the pitch here in the 7th. It's worth mentioning the Orioles bullpen was very solid over the weekend against the Nationals. They pitched 12 2/3 scoreless innings, and that's a good indicator of how stable the roles have become in the bullpen after a lot of transition in the beginning of the season. And Juan Samuel said going forward, it's going to be very important to keep those pitchers in the roles they have found success in. Now it's going to get a little dicey as Michael Gonzalez works his way back onto the roster and Koji Orihara comes back into the mix here as he was activated over the weekend. But Will Ullman said one of the best tools that a manager can give his relievers is the knowledge and understanding of when they are going to be used. So his decisiveness has helped this bullpen. Gary?
And Amber, as a result of their weekend, the bullpen ERA went from 4.74 to 4.43. It's a good weekend. The numbers dropped down. Top of the order, Coco Crispy has tripled, singled, and drawn a walk in the ball game, and the pitch is outside. And these are excellent numbers for the bullpen in the series against the Nationals.
Yeah, and they allowed them to forge those comebacks. You keep getting those tack-on runs, those add-on runs, if you're the Nats, and you don't win those games because there were one-run victories.
Tough ball games. Crisp has been real tough on Brian Mattis tonight. Scored in the 5th after the triple, the walk, the single. He's got 2 stolen bases in the ball game. 1-1 delivery to him, so a key man to keep hot here as we go to the 7th inning. Brock Kabako with a interesting story on Masson.com. You can go there to read the whole thing tonight. It's at MassonSports.com, entitled Ripken Updates Organizational Discussions. 1-2 delivery. That's down to third. Tejada backs up on it. Crispy is retired here in the 7th inning. In the article, he had a conversation with Cal, who confirmed that talks are ongoing with Peter Angelos and Andy MacPhail about a future in the front office. Cal called it an open exploration, saying he often talks to Peter 2 or 3 times a week, depending on each of their work schedules. The one thing he said won't happen, I won't pursue the manager's job. Some ways, if I had a magic wand, he said, and everything could work out, it would be interesting to consider, to think about it. But not now. But the front office job, yeah. And exactly what that means, you can go to the article and take a look, but the discussions are ongoing with the organization, and it looks like Cal's really talking about a couple of years down the road to make that kind of a move.
Yeah, Earl Weaver touched on it, that when he came through the organization, he had kind of had a plan that they had implemented as he worked his way through A-ball, AA, AAA manager. Juan Samuel, maybe because of the pitch count, now at 103, obviously coming out to make a change. Perkin has pitched so well, and again, you have another chance to win. Mattis, of course, got to be disappointed, but he really got some tough outs tonight, and pitched well. But once again, same old story.
Yep. He will not get a chance to win, but he has given the Orioles a chance to win, and the fans recognize that. He is out, Perkin is on. games that he has started without picking up a win, but he'll take it if the Orioles can come back and get a team win in this game.
Well, Jason Bergen leads all the American League relievers in innings pitched. Again, just really good over the weekend. Pitched on Saturday, didn't have his best stuff, got out of some jams, and then came back on Sunday, really threw the ball well. So there you go. Valverde, Rivera, Darren Oliver, the veteran lefty, now back with Texas. Javier Soriano, the closer for the Rays, and Jason Bergen. We talked about it over the weekend. Been talking about it all year. 6-12 as a starter. ERA over 6.5 runs a game. He has worked hard in spring. Really worked on his windup, and he's as a young guy. I think he realizes now when he's not doing what he needs to do, it's easier to get back on track.
He's got a runner on at first base with one away, and he faces Connor Jackson, who's 0 for 3. He has struck out, flied out, and popped out. And the pitch will be taken down low. Jackson came on a house of fire as he hit .345 in his first 9 games with the A's after coming over from Arizona. He has now gone 0 for his last 11. And Bob Guerin has used him in this third spot in 9 of the starts. He's also hit first and second in the lineup.
Well, he's got to be happy that Brian Mattis left, because he had runners at third with less than 2 outs the first 2 times. Up, struck out, and popped up. 0 for 3. Michael Wirtz, who's been struggling, and Jerry Blevins, the lefty.
2-0 delivery on the way, and Birkin misses outside to Jackson with Suzuki waiting on deck.
A lot of work for Jason Birkin. I think that's something you're really going to have to watch as the season progresses. And again, Saturday, Sunday, off day yesterday, back in tonight.
Here's the 3-0. Came in with a fastball and put that one in there. A 3-ball, 1-strike count on Jackson. One away, infield looking for the ground ball to get 2 here, and to give Birkin a chance to get out of the inning quickly. This Oakland team came in 10-11, by the way, against left-handed starters. Their team hits 10 points lower against lefties than against righties. And that one right at the knees on the inside part of the plate, and Birkin takes it to 3-2. On at first base is Barton. He's been on twice, hit by a pitch and singled. Connor Jackson with a 3-ball, 2-strike count. Outfield straight away on him. The A's trying to stay in the race in the West. They are 10 games out. Jackson acquired in order to try and give them a little more thump in what looks like it's going to be a very tight race in the American League West. The A's, though, have got to make a move right now before the All-Star break. They're going to stay in it. Here's the 3-2 delivery. Jackson. He did a little tango. Did he go around? No. Home-plate umpire reluctant to go to first, but did. And Marty Foster said, "You were right the first time." 2 on, 1 down. And Suzuki will get the chance.
Yeah, this is what Marty Foster's looking at, and not even close to being a swing. So after an 0 for 3, able to reach base and get another runner into scoring position.
And a 2-1 ball game in the 7th inning. So another one of those key moments in the game. Suzuki with both RBIs so far. A single, which extended his hit streak to 4, and another RBI coming on a ground ball out. Now Birkin with the PA system going off. That's kind of like the water sprinklers coming up in the middle of an inning. That time the music on the PA system started up in the middle of the inning. It wasn't a particularly good song, so it's all right that they shut it off. Suzuki 0 for 2, the only times he has faced Jason Birkin. That ground ball's a hopper off the glove and into left field. Coming around is Barton. He will score over to third. Will go Jackson, and it will be a single for Suzuki, and he has all 3 of the A's RBIs, and they lead at 3-1.
Yeah, nice, another nice at bat. It's just a slider he reaches for. And again, maybe not that tall. Can't get to it. Off the edge of his glove. And a lot of balls like that tonight. And of course, if you're the A's, Mazzaro pitching well, getting key outs, you'll take those. Just kind of keep going on. Try to get as many runs as you can.
And still only 1 away, and runners on at first and third. So Suzuki having a big night. 3 RBIs in the ball game. Third time he's had a 3 RBI game. That is fouled off. Kuzmin off his flight out, reached on an error and grounded out. So the line on Brian Mattis is done. 3 runs, 7 hits, 6 in the third with a walk and 2 strikeouts, as that run will be charged to him.
Yeah, and Kevin just trying to at home plate, trying to get a ball in the air, stay out of the double play.
0-1 count on him. Third baseman's done a great job defensively in the game tonight, taken inside. The A's just kind of pecking away here in this ball game with a lot of chances, a lot of base runners, and finding a way to get them in. With Suzuki's 2 singles and a ground ball up for the 3 RBIs. Kuzmin will take that one towards the middle. It is his Torres to Lugo and the relay, and there's the double play. Run in on a couple of hits. 3-1 A's lead. 7th inning stretch time, brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey. Please drink responsibly.
It's not a lot of power tonight, just a lot of situational hitting. Suzuki with an RBI. There's the first run, and then after a leadoff triple, Coco Crisp, who's having a nice offensive night. The Orioles will score. Lugo gets hit, gets the second base. Torres gets him in, and then they add another run. So not a Hyundai. It's not a Mazda. It's Suzuki tonight with 3 RBIs. And look at that, 2 for 4. Driven in all 3 runs. Mattis pitched well. Same old story for him. Not a lot of run support. And there you have it, 3-1.
And the surprise starter tonight, Mazzaro's done a great job. Mazzaro's longest outing of his career came against the Orioles in the win he picked up last year. He worked 7 1/3 innings. That is still the longest outing for him. Only 23 years old. This is only his 6th start of the year and his 9th appearance. Only his 23rd major league start, as he's been back and forth a bit with the bullpen on a starting role. He worked 7 innings in his last game against Cincinnati and took the loss, and he goes into the 7th inning here with a 3-1 lead. Lugo leads it off as Torres and then Patterson. Lugo hit by a pitch in the 5th inning and scored. He also has drawn a walk. Julio Lugo's gotten on base. That'll catch the outside corner, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Yeah, only 89 pitches. I mean, he hasn't thrown that many strikes, but the ground ball, the magical ground ball that gets you the double plays and gets you the easy outs, has been able to do that tonight.
Went through the first 5 innings with the leadoff man reaching for the Orioles. The 6th inning, he retired the side in order. Here's the 2-1 delivery to Lugo, and that's going to miss outside. A 3-ball, 1-strike count. It is right here where the Orioles would love to get to the bullpen.
Well, they got him up again, because it won't be long for Vinny. He's pitched well.
Lugo will take it inside, and again he's on. So in 6 of the 7 innings, leadoff man on for the Orioles. Wow. Let's take a look at this date in baseball history. It's been an interesting day. In 1913, there was a game played in which one baseball was used. The Reds and Cubs. It's the only recorded game where there's been one baseball used. 37, the Cubs first baseman Ripper Collins did not record a putout. It's only happened 3 times in baseball history. He's done it, did it twice. And in 1990, 2 no-hitters on the same day. Dave Stewart got one, and Fernando Valenzuela got the other, all on June 29 of those days. So the starter is out of there to go into the bullpen. 1 ball.
1 ball.
Do you believe that? Maybe that's all he had. To be the winner, the emergency starter for Dallas Braden, who had the bad elbow.
Yeah, Jerry Blevins comes on. We've seen him, 6'6" lefty. A little bit better against left-handers. Haven't hit any home runs. There are the numbers. He's been actually pitching quite well for him. No runs in 11 of the last 14 outings. But again, he inherited runners. That's been a problem over that 14 outings is almost 50%. 42.9 have scored. See if that'll happen here.
Nobody out. Leadoff man on for the Orioles, down by 2 in the bottom of the 7th inning. As Torres has doubled in a run, he is 1 for 2. He now has a 5-game hit streak. And the Orioles try and mount another comeback to win their 5th in a row. If they do it, they all will be comeback wins. 1-0 delivery on the way, and Blevins will miss outside, and he falls behind 2-0.
And not even close with the first 2 pitches. Cesar Torres looking down at Gary Allenson, the third base coach, to see if this is a take situation. I don't know if it's a take, but just make sure you get a pitch in the middle of the plate, not a pitcher's pitch.
2-0s there. Is Torres 261 right-handed and 216 left-handed.
There's a lot of deception for Jerry Blevins being that tall. He's kind of slings it up there, hides it well. Nice little leg kick.
2 ball, 1 strike count. Short lead at first base for Lugo, and the pitch is going to miss. And the count goes to 3-1.
A little bit like George Sherrill, because he's closed, and then for some reason throws him a breaking ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Not exactly the pitch you would be looking for. Not even close.
And Blevins will get that called strike. This is the 4th game Blevins has appeared in against the Orioles this year. He's got a victory against the O's. He's worked 4 innings in the previous 3 games, giving up 1 earned run. This year, the first time he's ever faced Baltimore. That one to right field. Davis started in, backs up, and has it. Runner halfway will go back. 1 down in the 7th. Vote for your favorite O's for the 2010 All-Star Game at Orioles.com, and you could win the Vote Orioles VIP Experience Sweepstakes. A lucky winner, 4 tickets, upcoming game, VIP parking, on-field to watch BP, a meet and greet with the O's All-Stars, and a personalized All-Star Game batting practice jersey. Go to Orioles.com/All-Star for complete details. Hard to believe we are at the end of June and the All-Star game just a couple of weeks away in Anaheim to decide the home field advantage for the 2010 World Series.
It does make it a much more interesting game, whether you agree with that philosophy or not, of giving it that kind of import.
Do you? I don't.
No, I just think it's. Well, I threw 3 home runs in it. I mean, how bad would I have felt in 1877 when, you're supposed to be on the mound at 8:15. You get on there at 8:45. You throw 3 home runs. I mean, it's about pride.
Yeah.
It's just. Yeah. I mean, I understand why they do it, because they want to make it seem like it's more important, but
that shouldn't be.
No.
That one in the gap to left center field, and racing forward, making the catch, Coco Crisp, and he relays it to Connor Jackson to get it back in. A big defensive play by Coco Crisp, who is having a dramatic return to this ball club.
Yeah, we saw Niger Morgan with 4 hits and a circus catch right here. He doesn't throw well, and he's on his knees, but what a catch. Looks like it's going to be gapped. If it goes up, Corey Patterson at least is going to be at second base because of his speed. So a terrific play, and of course, if you're going to win the close games, you have to be able to turn a double into an out, and that's exactly what Chris does.
So a couple of 2/3 of an inning, couple of outs for Blevins. He is out of there, and Wirtz will come on. Orioles have a runner at first with 2 down. For the final out in the 7th inning.
Yeah, I mean, just marvelous last year. They acquire him from the Cubs. He goes 6-1, low ERA, 2.63, 74 games, 102 strikeouts in 78 2/3 innings, and then starts the season with shoulder tendonitis. So it really set him back. And when we saw him, and they came in the last trip, just did not have the slider he had last year. He said, he feels good, just not being able to make the pitches that he would like to. So we'll see how that affects the game here as he comes in with 2 outs with the A's leading it by 2.
Tejada's faced him a couple of times and gone 0 for 2. So Miggy up. He's had an 0 for 3 ball game. Orioles have the runner at first base, Lugo, who reached on the walk to start the inning out. 6 walks were given up by the starter, Ben Mazzaro. The Orioles have not been able to move him around. 2-run lead for the A's. That one in the air to right field. Back warning track is Raja Davis, and he's got it. So 1 pitch from Wirtz gets the out, no runs, no hits, and 1 left on after 7, 3-1 A's. A's have the 3-1 lead in the ball game. Orioles with time. Take a look at your chance to vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. Suzuki's had a big night. The RBIs is Torres. He's picked up an RBI double in the ball game. Brian Mattis, the starter, has given the Orioles a chance to win. 3 runs, 7 hits over 6 in the third. Text in your vote, A, B, or C, to 51862. We go to the 8th.
So for Brian, what's that? 16 starts, 34 runs while he's in the game. Boy, a lot of pressure on a young pitcher. Handled it well tonight.
A 1-strike count. Rosales leading it off. And something being said to Birkin about going to your lips.
Well, you can go to your mouth when you're not standing on the pitching rubber. If you go while you're actually in contact with the rubber, in other words, that front foot, then it becomes a ball. I think.
So that was the warning. And if it happens again, it will be a ball.
So the count should be now what, 1 and 2?
I think they give him a warning first.
Okay.
I think that's what he was doing.
Nope.
Maybe not.
No, the ball. Yeah. Well, because he pointed up to the press box, so I assume that meant.
Yep. 2-ball, 1-strike count. And the delivery will be grounded towards third. Cut off is Torres. A long throw, none to be made.
One of those nights. You know, nice at bat because you stay alive. It's a good slider. It's down the zone. You know, maybe a little bit better if it's farther away because then it's a ground ball to shortstop. But the infield, it's almost like they rolled it out in front of home plate tonight. A lot of high chops. You don't see that. When we were out actually when we threw the ball out on Saturday. God, boy, this grass is spongy, but the dirt a little bit harder today.
And that's where they're hitting it. Here's Mark Ellis. That will be hit number 9 for the A's in the ball game. Ellis has one of them. He's 1 for 3. He is lined out and popped out. So now Jason Birkin try and keep the score right where it is. The 4 batters against him. It's been a walk and 2 singles, but he got the double play ground ball to win the 7th inning. And Ellis will have to wait as Rosales is chased back to the bag. This Western Division that the A's are involved in, they are 10 games out. Texas leads the Angels by 4.5. Seattle's in last place, 15 games behind, despite having the lowest ERA for staff in the league. They are still 15 out in the West.
Yeah, what they all have in common, they all play pretty well on the road. The difference is Texas is a game over and the Angels are 4 over on the road, and then Oakland, as you mentioned, struggling 13 and 24, and then Seattle 11 and 26. And then of course Seattle also last in runs scored.
Again the throw over to get Rosales back. O'Hara's up in the bullpen. Koji O'Hara back on the roster, of course, and ready to be used.
Well, the sideburns growing down in Sarasota. Points other places. I mean, he had it about an inch or so.
That one is hit hard center field. Jones going back, and he's got it. Runner all the way around second. Rosales had a tag second base and get back to first, and he does as Ellis is retired. 1 away. He'd gone all the way to second base, made the turn by a step.
Does he tag the bag going back? Yes, he does. Of course, Adam wasn't really paying attention. He's just kind of cruising over into right center.
You got umpires in motion there. Good job of coverage that time. You got Gary Cederstrom at second base. He's got to go out to the outfield to watch the ball. So the first base umpire, Marty Foster, has to go halfway. So he keeps track of the runner for just that kind of situation to make sure a runner touches up again. We will get Gabe Gross now as the pinch hitter for Raja Davis, who delivered a single. 1 for 3 for Davis in the game, getting out of his 0 for 19 at the time, but still only 1 hit in his last 21 at bats. And Gabe Gross, one of the game's best, coming off the bench, has made a late career out of pinch hitting.
Well, I saw a note. What are they, 14 for the last 26 pinch hitting? We look at Craig Breslow, another left-handed specialist.
Gross has gone 3 for 8 as a pinch hitter with 3 pinch hit RBIs.
Yeah, 11 for 26, the A's. In their last 26, those are real special numbers.
You don't get that many pinch hitting opportunities generally in the American League.
But again, we just had the interleague, so you obviously would have gotten a few more. But again, that 11 for 26 with a couple of home runs, 9 RBIs. Hitting over 300 as a team, 319 on the entire year.
And the pitch to Gross will miss in the pinch hit department for the A's. They lead the American League in the average and in home runs, and second in RBIs by pinch hitters. 3 home runs and 11 RBIs.
Well, they went out and got a veteran guys, and I think a lot of people forget how good a year Gabe Gross had for the Rays when they went to the World Series in 2008.
1-1 delivery is going to be taken down low in a 2-ball 1-strike count.
He's never had one of those years that really knock your socks off, but a lot of game-winning hits, solid defender, which is why he'll come in here, match up, and won't hurt yourself at all if you put him in the outfield.
2-1. Runner on first base is Rosales. He draws the 4th throw over there. Also acquired by the A's, a minor league contact to the veteran pitcher Jamie Wright, just in case they need some help, as these teams in the West have been out buying, all of them. Even Seattle's out trying to get some help. Russell Branyan was signed on Friday. Even though they're 15 games out in the division, they're still trying to find some help to make a run at it with about half the season left to go. Gabe Gross, a 3-ball 1-strike count. Runner at first base and 1 out. We're in the 8th inning. Birkin on in relief for the Orioles, trying to hold that score. Orioles have only 3 hits in the game. A couple of doubles and a single. Patterson picked up the single leading off the ball game. They got doubles from Scott and from his Taurus. An out has been recorded at the plate in the 2nd inning after Scott doubled. Went to 3rd on a wild pitch. Adam Jones, a fly ball to right. Raja Davis threw Scott out trying to score. Runner goes. Throw is going to be a little short. It'll skip away. Backed up by Lugo. And a stolen base for Rosales.
Well, again, you force Craig Tatum to make a good throw. And he doesn't. He bounces it. Usually a pretty good thrower. Doesn't get to play a lot.
It's 4 for 4 in stolen bases tonight for the A's. They've got 57 on the year and have only been caught 13 times.
Yeah, you look at this lineup and you would think Davis would be the guy. He came in with 26, but again, you got to seize the opportunity, seize the moment, and that's what Bob Guerin's done.
3-2 delivery on the way, off the fist, and probably shattered the bat. It did. And Gross will get a new one with a 3-ball 2-strike count.
And a terrific pitch inside to Gabe Gross. Yeah, Jason Birkin has really been good against lefties. Coming in only 10 for 54. That's under 200 at 185. And even the numbers against righties, they were over 300. They're down to 257. That gives you an idea of how well he's pitched.
A potential big run out there. Rosales at second base. Gabe Gross waiting. 3-2 delivery to him and got him. Just challenged him with a high heater. Foul tip into the mitt of Tatum, and there are 2 down.
Yeah, 94 miles per hour, just goes up the ladder. You can see the low hand. Look how low his hands are, and then he just gets him to chase out of the zone. A little extra. 4-seam fastball. A little lift.
Big out right there. Leaves the runner at second now with 2 down, and Pennington. Pennington 2 for 2 off Birkin. In this game, he has single scored. Fielder's choice popped out, and he has one of the 4 stolen bases for the A's. That first pitch is going to catch the outside corner for a strike.
Yeah, an awfully good curveball right there. Then Mazzaro.
Orioles are well within striking distance here. Down by only 2. And the pitch by Birkin is up high. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Pennington looking for a key 2-out RBI late in the ball game. Pennington 258 with runners in scoring position on the year for the shortstop. 1-1 delivery to him. A chopper that caught him in the batter's box, and a 1-2 count. And he'll walk this one off. 11,987. 11,987 the announced attendance for the ball game tonight. Great weather is supposed to be coming on, cooler weather for the remainder of the week. 2 more games, 2 night games coming up against this A's ball club. Here's the 1-2 delivery, and we'll miss low, a little bit inside maybe as well. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Orioles going to have the unusual situation of a couple of day games back to back, as the Orioles have got July 4 and 5 dates coming with Boston and Detroit, and Sunday and Monday would be both day games, the 4th and 5th. 2-2 delivery to Pennington. Birkin missed away with it, and the count is full again. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Rosales a single and a stolen base to get the second, and a dirty uniform to go with it. Birkin 3-2, 2 down, and gets him for a couple of big strikeouts for Jason Birkin. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. Orioles down by 2. It off, didn't appreciate being hit in the middle of the back, but he got on base. And then the Stars thought he was hit by a pitch. They said no. He said, all right, then I'll just deliver a shot down the line. He did. Lugo came home after he'd gone to second on a wild pitch, and the Orioles got a run in, and that's the only run they have on the board as we go to the bottom of the 8th, and the A's lead it 3-1. Kay Gross will stay in the ball game after pinch hitting. He'll play right field, and the A's will go to the bullpen again. Levin's 2/3 of an inning, Wertz 1/3 of an inning, and now Craig Breslin.
Yeah, lefty, righty, a lefty, and look at those glowing numbers. Acquired him last year, had a terrific year for him. Lefties don't hit him well, righties don't hit him well, doesn't walk a whole lot of guys. Like on the last time they were in, never really developed a screwball, but just good stuff. Came out of the Twins organization. You know, when he was with them, they've been in 5 teams over the last 4 seasons, so again, a veteran, he'll turn 30 later on in the summer to try to protect this lead to get to Andrew Bailey.
And the Orioles have the middle of the lineup. Markakis, Wigginton, and Scott coming up here in the bottom half of the 8th against him. Markakis has drawn 2 walks in the game, and he has flied out. Nick continues to put up the big numbers against left-handers, as he has done all season long. So when you make this move to face Markakis, beware, as Nick Markakis hitting .380 against lefties, 110 points higher than his average against right-handers.
And left-handers are hitting .128 against Breslin. Look at that number there. That's Nick's numbers. .128 for the pitcher, and he's retired the first batter. Only 1 out of the last 27 have reached.
0-1
to the battle, yeah.
It's a real good matchup right here by 2 who do their job exceedingly well.
Well, the great thing about being in this position, we talked the last 4 wins, 4-game winning streak of all from coming behind. One guy gets on, time run comes to the plate.
1-1 delivery. Markakis, that one caught Suzuki.
Awfully good swing right there. Yep, straight back. There's your double swing.
Suzuki kicks the ball away.
And it's the fastball right down the middle of the plate, and Nick airs it out. Really good swing right here. Straight back. What happens when you drive in 3 runs?
You feel that one. Nick Markakis 2 for 9 off Breslow. Lifetime. Orioles try to get the leadoff man on yet again. And Markakis will take the pitch away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Breslow.
One thing about Suzuki, we've seen the 3 RBIs, but their team ERA when he catches is about 1.2 runs lower than any other catcher on the staff. So he does a terrific job calling games.
Markakis fights it away. It stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And he is a workhorse behind the plate in his seasons. Suzuki ends up catching virtually every game and generally 1 or 2 innings caught in the course of a year. Not your prototypical catcher size-wise. He's much smaller than most catchers, but very quick. 2-2 delivery. Markakis bends that one away, and you can see by Breslow's body motion after the pitch, he thought he had delivered one right there where he had a chance to get the out. And those are the kind of pitches that Markakis fights off and gets a better hitter's pitch.
Well, he uses the whole field as well as anybody. And that's why he's able to spray base hits and doubles from line to line.
Here's the 2-2 delivery again, and Markakis goes the other way, and he's got another base hit. That will go into the corner. Jackson up with it. Markakis is on. He's got a lead-off double against the lefty.
But let's take a look. You have one of the left-handed specialists, 128 batting average, is against the guy that's hitting 380 off lefties. Strike 1, that's what good pitchers do. Then you work the corner, 1-1. Good swing, 1-2. Misses with a breaking ball. Fouls it off, staying alive again. And then rifles the ball right inside the bat. Can't get any better than that.
And Nick is tied for first in doubles, depending on what happened to about 5 other guys who have 24. That's how many Markakis has. Jammed again Jackson on the Wigginton fly ball, and he's got it. So Ty Wigginton with an 0 for 4, and all of these A's pitchers have worked him inside. 1 away.
Yeah, aggressive hitter, and then you make a good pitch. It's a good combination. Now that same pitch out over the plate's trouble. But good pitchers, they execute their pitches. They have a game plan. Obviously, when you got lefties hitting 128 and righties about 137, this kid knows how to pitch.
Luke Scott has done well against Breslow. He is 3 for 4 with a home run. Lifetime off the Oakland reliever. He stands in with a runner on at second base and represents the potential tying run in this game. 1 away. Off the end of the bat and foul for strike 1. For Luke this season, 241 against lefties, 274 off right-handers. Simone in the bullpen for the Orioles. We're in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, that's because if you get 2 runs, you're bringing your closer in. As you mentioned in the opening, a couple of saves and a win over the weekend? So we had a busy weekend.
0-1, a look back. Breslow's delivery, and Scott will take the pitch outside for a ball. So the Orioles making it tough again. The A's have out-hit the Orioles 9-4 in the ball game, but have not been able to get that big 1 or 2 runs that kind of puts the distance between the 2 teams. The Orioles held in by Brian Mattis and Jason Birkin. Now just need the offense. 1-1 delivery. That one in the air to right field. That is in the gap. Going back. Warning track. Reaching up. Cannot get it. It is in play. Markakis will score. Second base. An RBI double by Luke Scott, and it's a 3-2 game.
Boy, the irony there. Bob Guerin trying to score more runs. Rajai Davis probably gets to that ball. Not as tall as Gabe Gross. So Markakis doubles right here. Ball in the middle of the plate. You can see how strong. Look at Luke Scott go out and get the ball. Generate bat speed. And then Gross Not as quick as Davis. Doesn't get to it. Over his head. Chris there to back it up. Otherwise, it's a triple. So you're now within one. There's your Ford drive of the game. Pretty important double.
And your local Ford dealer invites you to experience Ford like never before. Ford Drive 1. So Luke Scott picks up the RBI with the two-bagger. And Scott Moore has come on to run for him. He represents the potential tying run. And Adam Jones is coming up.
So
for
now
Scott, he's got 29 RBI in the season.
So now, of course, what happens is if Adams happens to hit one, you got your closer up to come in and try to save the game.
For Jones in the ball game, a walk, fly ball, and a ground ball out. Adam Jones has been tearing it up during the last week, and in fact in the entire month of June. Adam has been the long ball leader for the Orioles, and right now if he could launch one, Jim said the Orioles would go out on top. Breslow with a 1-0 count, and Jones will take it up high for a ball. Adam has had 7 homers in the month of June, far and away the leader. Matt Wieters waiting to pinch hit on deck.
And nobody in the Oakland bullpen. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there, but nobody up is what I guess I'm trying to say. Yeah. They all left.
They all gone home. A 2-0 delivery on the way, and Jones will take that one for a strike. So the Orioles trying to mount yet another comeback. They're looking to make it 5 in a row. As we said, all would be comeback wins if they can do it. For Juan Samuel, a battling club that has won the games the hard way. Moore with a good lead at second. The A's really not holding him close. 2-1 delivery. He'll pop it up down the first base side. Barton near the top makes the catch and gets it in to make sure the runner does not advance. Jones is retired.
Yeah, had a good pitch to hit, just pops it up. And nice play by Derek Barton because he didn't have time to really check out where that tarp is.
And Matt Wieters will be pinch hitting for Tatum. Craig Tatum had an 0 for 3 in the ballgame. Wieters as a pinch hitter has gone 1 for 5. He's batting from the right side here where he's hitting only .211 compared to .249 the other way. He's had 6 home runs in the year, 2 of those hit from this side of the plate. So Wieters up, Moore on at second, 2 down in the bottom of the 8th inning. Breslow's pitch will be outside for a ball.
Yeah, not a lot of low strikes called tonight. We got a 6'5" catcher, tall guy coming to the plate.
Wieters 0 for 2, the only times he has faced Craig Breslow. And a called strike, and that was a low one, and Wieters thought it might have been outside as well.
Yeah, you don't see a whole lot of change-ups from Craig Breslow, but look at this one. Looks like it's been a low all night, but they get the call, so it evens the count.
1 ball, 1 strike on Wieters. Breslow. That'll be fouled back. Breslow gets ahead on the count here, 1-2. Breslow against the Orioles this season. This is his 4th game. He's given up a run in 3 2/3 innings in the previous 3 outings.
And you would think right here, what they're going to try to get him. Now we see Louis R coming in. If they don't go tie it up or get the lead, I would imagine he'd come in to pitch tonight. And you would think this is going to be a breaking ball, trying to spot it down and in, and get Matt to swing over.
Moore edging his way off second base. 2 down. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Wieters takes it. Suzuki framed it. They don't get the call.
So all of a sudden, 89, 89, 89, 92, 93. And it wasn't a slider. It was a fastball trying to buzz it up and in.
Matt's got a 6-game hit streak coming into this. 8 for his last 19. 2 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way. Wieters again fouls it back, stays at 2-2.
Yeah, Matt has been talking about just, again, trying not to overswing. I said when you overswing, you get out on that front foot, you're much more relaxed, much more confident lately. I mean, this certainly is not a relaxed situation with a game on the line and coming off the bench.
Two managers watching intently. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Ooh, almost got away. Suzuki with a great rebound, hauls it in, and starts the fast break. For a little guy, got up in the air.
Yes, he did.
There, didn't he?
He went to 4-story in a hurry.
Wow.
Well, you talked about being very agile and maybe not being quite as big as some other catchers. Certainly not Matt Wieters, who's at the plate.
A 3-ball, 2-strike count, 2 away. Moore off second base. And Wieters battling Breslow. Scott Moore waiting. Breslow has thrown 7 to Wieters. And the count is 3-2. Moore is given a lot of latitude at second to get off that bag. 3-2 again. Wieters again. A real battle right here. And Suzuki's going to go out. Breslow's thrown about everything. Pennington wants to know the shortstop coming in.
Yeah, the only thing he hadn't thrown him is a slider. You almost get the feeling they don't want to mess with that and maybe speed up the bat a little bit. But the one thing he's done a nice job. He did throw the only changeup. Got the questionable strike call. But fastball is 89 to 92, so he's really changed speeds in this at bat well with that. Bob Guerin looks on, former catcher.
He lets Suzuki call the ball game, as most major league catchers do. Suzuki certainly has had the experience. Here's the 3-2 again, and walked him. So Wieters on a 9-pitch at bat keeps the inning going and gives the Orioles another base runner. That will bring Kurt Young, the pitching coach, back out to the mound again. Lugo waiting on deck.
So Kurt Young, obviously, I can't imagine, or well, I suppose he could, but he's probably just coming out to see what we want to do. Lugo hitting much better against lefties at 327, 183 against right-handers. And again, Breslow, Greg's been so good.
They do have action in the bullpen. Tyson Ross,
you know, young guy. We saw him. We saw him actually out in Oakland. We saw him when they came in here. You know, young guy that was last year pitching an A ball double-A. Doesn't certainly have the experience of the 29-year-old left-hander.
So Lugo will stand in. He's been an important part of this ball game. He's been on all 3 times, 2 walks, and hit by a pitch and scored one of the Orioles' run. The Orioles have a run in here in the 8th on the RBI double by Luke Scott. Moore pinch running for him at second. Wieters at first. 2 down. Lugo takes the pitch on the outside corner for a strike from Breslow.
And they play him very shallow. Gabe Gross really creeping in right field.
And a big gap in left center.
It's difficult because Matt Wieters doesn't run well to be able to score 2 with a double up the gap.
Here's the 0-1 delivery, and that ball will be hit in the air to right. And Gross will back up a bit and make the catch. So the Orioles will get 1 run. They do it on a couple of hits, leaving 2 on base, make it a 1-run ball game going to the 9th. Go to Southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Real good ball game for the gathered in attendance. A 3-2 A's lead as we go to the ninth inning. Matt Wieters will stay on and do the catching after pinch hitting. And the Orioles will go to the bullpen and returning Koji Uehara.
Well, let's see. Splitter, fastball, occasional slider. His stuff was not very crisp. Hamstring problem early on in the year. Didn't look like the conditioning with the leg injury was where he would like it. So, again, if he's going to be an important part of this bullpen with Jason Birkin getting all the work, just going to have to, number one, stay healthy. Last year, the flexor problems with the throwing arm. This year, the hamstrings and the hamstring last year. So, really, health has been a problem for Koji.
So, Uehara back off the DL. Garrett Atkins, of course, the much discussed being assigned. And now Koji Uehara will try and find his spot in the bullpen. Coco Crisp is going to lead it off. Chris Barton and Jackson at the top of the order for Oakland. Shows bunt, takes it away for a ball. Crisp, switch hitter. Again, only the 8th game he has played in because of injuries, and what an impact in this one. He's walked, singled, tripled. Also grounded out. He's got a couple of stolen bases, and he has scored a run and made a fine catch in the outfield on Corey Patterson in the 7th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
Well, from the windup, and very upright. That's what the splitter helps, because it tumbles.
Chris will take that one, and a 2 ball, 1 strike counter. Koji Uehara has been talked about as the closer. Simone has taken that job over. Birkin in the middle has been outstanding. Now Uehara's got to find his way. And a 3 ball, 1 strike count. Orioles have it to within 1, so his job, give the Orioles that 1-run differential in the bottom of the 9th inning. 3-1 delivery on the way. Chris will take it for a strike, and it goes to 3-2.
Yeah, that's what he pitched at this year early on. About 88 was tops. Last year, 88 to 90, 91 every once in a while. But again, the injury factor. You lose your legs, your conditioning. It's tough.
That's going to be down the left field line, and that will be at least 1. Patterson cuts it off, but with the speed of Crisp, he's in with a double, leading off the 9th inning. So his 3rd hit of the ball game, a leadoff double here in the 9th.
Hey, he just ran the count to 3-2, and he took some pitches early on and just said, you know what, I'll just hit it where you throw it. Up and away, it's elevated. Koji better down in the zone, and he just slices it to left field.
So we'll see how Bob Guerin wants to play this. He obviously wants to put up at least a run. He's got Barton up, his most pronounced bunter. 9 sacrifices for Barton.
Yeah, he tried to do it back in the 3rd and popped it up with runners at 1st and 2nd. There's a low strike.
He singled in the 7th inning, was hit by a pitch in the 5th. Officially 1 for 3 in the ball game. Orioles playing for the bunt. Tejada at 3rd, already in on the grass. As Torres trying to keep Crisp fairly close. Wigginton's already in at the plate. Good bunt. Uehara will have to go to 1st here with Lugo covering, and a sacrifice for Barton, his 10th of the year.
Kind of the way you would expect it. You have a guy that can handle the bat, even though he didn't get it down. He gets it down. You get the guy to 3rd, and now you got to play your infield in.
Connor Jackson, it has been 1 RBI opportunity after another for him in this game. Struck out in the 1st with a chance, flied out in the 3rd. RBI opportunity, popped out in the 5th inning, and drew a walk in the 7th. 2 for 15 with runners in scoring position tonight for the A's. 2 for 11 for the O's. Not very good numbers on either side. Talked about Connor Jackson and the numbers he had put up with Arizona in 2008. He hit 300 in 540 at bats, 12 home runs, 75 RBIs. And he will foul that one away. The injury, the disease really that he had, took him out of the season last year after only 30 games. Was not hitting particularly well with the Diamondbacks this year, so acquired. And now wears the A's uniform. 0-1 count, infield drawn in. Crisp with great speed at 3rd base. O'Hara's delivery. That will miss outside. Jackson in a couple of at-bats has tried to get the fly ball to get a sacrifice fly. With that tremendous uppercut, he's popped the ball up.
Yeah, first 2 times up, he had that opportunity. Brian Mattis made some really good pitches.
Here's the 1-1 delivery to him, and just missed inside.
Well, I will say this already. Koji with better stuff than he's had any time that I've seen this year. A little more pop. So, again, the injury to the arm, to the legs. Matt Albert's getting loose just in case this inning gets out of hand. And pulls that one off the plate.
Only his 7th game of the season at the major league level for Koji O'Hara. Rehab. Spent time working on AA Bowie, AAA, getting ready to come back. Here's the 3-1 delivery, and this time this is going to go to center, and it's going to be a base hit. So Connor Jackson delivers, and it is a 4-2 ball game as Crisp will score. Jackson gets the RBI single. You figured he gets that many chances, one of those he's going to come through on.
Well, he was able to work the count into his favor with 2-1, and then just got a fastball in the middle of the plate and did exactly what you're supposed to do, drive it back up the middle.
Connor Jackson with the RBI here in the top of the 9th inning. And that'll be his 4th since joining the ball club, and this is 13th game. He's at first, 1 away. Suzuki's been the driving force with 3 RBIs on 2 singles and a ground ball out. 1-0 count to him. Double digits in hits, 11 on the board for the A's tonight. 4 runs on 11 hits. They have stranded 9. The Orioles have also left 9 on. Here's the 1-0. O'Hara's pitch grounded to third. It's going to be a very tough play. And a great play made by Tejada. That one's got to be perfect or you're not going to get him, and it was.
Yeah, you really can't make a better play than this. Again, learning this position, it seems like he's got this part of it down. I mean, it just doesn't get any better. Going to circle a little bit better angle, bare hand, only way you can make it, strong throwing arm.
I think about in Sarasota spring training in Juan Samuel, 8:30 in the morning, rolling balls down to third, rolling balls down to third, piling them up over at first.
Well, it's not about any lack of work ethic.
No.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, he's really tried to improve. It's just all these years, and it's a difficult position because of angles, and you've got to make the read right away. So, not everybody's Brooks Robinson. Cal started at third, went to short, then went back. Yeah, well, you're right. I mean,
that one in the air to right field. Marquez going back. This one off base retired, but a run in and a couple of hits with a base runner left on. The Orioles, do they have it in them for the comeback in the bottom of the ninth?
Bottom of the ninth first, and what a frustrating game for the Orioles. 13 base runners and 2 runs, and they come to bat down by 2.
I know 7 of 8 innings so far, the Orioles have had the first runner on, but we have seen them come from behind all week long. Stay tuned for the fireworks coming up.
So it's a 4-2 game, and Gary, the bats have been booming on this homestand. Runs aplenty. They need 2 to keep it going. Let's send it back to you and Jim.
They certainly have done that on this homestand so far with that 4-2 mark and those comeback wins. And we'll see if they can do it here. They need 2 to keep this game alive in the bottom of the 9th inning, and they'll have to do it off the Phenoms closer.
Well, yeah, last year, Rookie Pitcher of the Year, All-Star game. He's only 25. Had a chance to meet him today. Remarkable young man. Was a starter at Double-A. Non-roster player last year. Not only did he make the ball club, had a terrific year. 26 saves. A lot of strikeouts. He throws in the mid-90s. Big overhand curveball, and he came up with a cutter. So this is what it's all about for Bob Guerin and the A's. Get a lead, squeak out some runs, which is what they've done. Opportunities to maybe score 7 or 8 tonight. They didn't do that. Now hand the ball to your closer.
14 out of 17 in save situations for him, for Bailey in the game. Left-handers hitting only 184 off him, and right-handers 230. He's retired at just 67% of leadoff batters. That's good decent for a starting pitcher, but for a closer, that's a goodly number of leadoff batters getting on in tight situations.
Well, that's what you're looking for here. Get a guy on with a tying run to the plate. And only 2 home runs, but those on the road.
And showed bunt. It is in there for a strike, and quickly 0-2. As Torres in the game has doubled in a run, has flied out, grounded out. Patterson and Tejada to follow. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning. The 0-2 delivery is Torres down the other line.
And I asked him, I said, how do you go from being 5-9 at Double-A to being Rookie Pitcher of the Year with 26 saves, the All-Star game? He said, I think I'm better for 1 inning. He said, I just take the ball. I'm a power pitcher. I thought a little bit too much. Maybe a little bit of a David Hernandez, who's shown he can pitch out of the bullpen. Velocity going up into the high 90s.
Well, if psychologically he believes he's better for 1 inning, that's exactly what you're looking for. Because if a closer doesn't have that mental set, you're not going to be successful. Here's the 1-2 delivery as Torres will fight that one off.
You said when you're starting, you're thinking about, I need to pitch, different ways and 2 seamers. He said, I'm a 4-seam fastball guy. Cutter comes off that pitch. He does have the big curveball, which he just threw there. And again, he's young. 25.
Yeah, 1.74 ERA, 7th lowest among American League relievers.
Actually, I think he turned 26 during the course of this season.
And he's up high. There's Torres. Anything to get on here. Give the Orioles a chance to get the potential tying run to the plate. Obviously a big run in the 9th inning. Off Koji Uehara. Gave up a couple of hits. 2-2 delivery. A slow roller. Bailey. 1 down. Let's update you on the AT&T Player of the Game voting so far. You still have time to text in your vote. Close between Brian Mattis and Suzuki. Text in your vote to A, B, or C to 51862. Results on the O's Extra postgame show. 1 down in the 9th. Corey Patterson, he is singled, sacrificed, walked, and got robbed by Kogo Crisp of an extra base hit in the 7th inning in a big defensive play. Bailey's delivery to him, taken, and it is there for a strike.
Yeah, every time we see a team, whether it's the Mets with Jose Reyes or Coco Crisp tonight, come in here with a dynamic leadoff guy that has a big night, boy, you miss Brian Roberts. And what a difference they make for any team.
Great pitch cut in on him.
That's that cutter. You're right, Fosse, who, former catcher who's been doing radio and television for the A's for years. He said, how he came up with that pitch? He said his arm's a little bit crooked. Kind of bends a little bit. He just throws it normal. It cuts.
And got him.
That ball's about 4 inches off the outside corner. Fielding, Culver. Come on. He's been a high ball umpire all night, but this ball not even close. That's just no reason to do that. And I don't mean because I broadcast for the Orioles. That ball's so far outside, you're not going to swing it. And he hadn't done it all night. Why would you do it in the 9th? And unless you got a dinner date at
now
20 to 11. It's just, come on, focus.
2 down.
At least he's been consistent all night long. It's just uncalled for.
Big out, obviously, here as the Orioles trying to get 1 runner on. Tejada will take it inside, and the count goes to 2-0. Tejada struck out a couple of times, hit into a double play, and flied out to right. Bailey trying to wrap this up in the first game of the 3-game set. He's got 2 saves against the Orioles this year in the 2 games. A couple of innings worked and no runs off him prior to this one. Here's the 2-0. Fastball for a strike to Hada, doing what he needs to do here. He was not going to swing till he got a strike. The Orioles have got to get somebody on to make it matter.
Well, you'd love to get on for Mark Akins.
He launches that to center field. Crisp is there, and this one is in the baseball record books. The A's come away with a 4-2 win in the opener. Brian Mattis will take the loss, 2-9. And Mizzaro's going to get the win. He is 3-2 and another save for Bailey. So we hope you'll join us again tomorrow. Game 2 of this 3-game set. Kevin Millwood on the mound against Ben Sheetzo's Extra, presented by your local Ford dealer, comes to you on Masson 2 HD at 6:30, followed by game coverage at 7. For Jim Palmer and Theo Harrison, our great crew, I'm Gary Thorne. Thanks, everybody. We bid you adieu. The A's